Mount Union College and Image Video Teleproductions present Purple Raiders Football. Today's matchup is sponsored by Lavery Chevrolet Buick, 1096 West State Street in Alliance, committed to community involvement. And by Bank One of Eastern Ohio, with 55 locations serving you in 6 counties. Henshin Motor Company, Alliance's Oldsmobile Cadillac Pontiac dealer at 906 South Union Avenue. And by United Bank, the bank that begins with you. This is Mount Union College football.
From a wet and windy Mount Union Stadium in Alliance, Ohio, it's Ohio Athletic Conference football time. And a pleasant good day to you, sports fans. I'm John Caparanus. Right next to me, Harry Patis, and we're going to be bringing you all of the action of what appropriately is titled the 1985 title game for the OAC Crown. It features 2 teams both ranked in the top 20 Division III wise in the NCAA. First of all, you have the visiting Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. They're coming into the ballgame 7-1 on the current campaign, a perfect 6-0 in the OAC, and they have won their last 38 conference regular season contests. They're coached by Bob Packard. Their opponents for today, the Mount Union Purple Raiders, and the Raiders coached by Ken Wabel coming into the ballgame riding a 9-game overall winning streak. They're 8-0 on the season, 6-0 in the conference. They are ranked 5th according to Division III of the NCAA. And Harry Patis, it just should be a superb ballgame.
Well, I'll tell you, the weather is not cooperating, but if the spirit on campus is any indication, it should be a great game. Mount Union, of course, has never won an OAC title, and they feel it this particular day. And Baldwin Wallace, kind of old hat for them, but then they don't become the veteran champions that they are without being prepared for the big game. And this is a big game for both teams.
Classic confrontation today, Harry.
It really is. You know, Baldwin Wallace with that great defense, and they're ranked first in about every defensive category in the conference. Mount Union, on the other hand, is an offensive team. Number 1 in the nation in scoring, in fact, close to 40 points per game. And so it's the old, you know, can they score against the tough defense as far as Mount Union is concerned. As it was last week, this week, one of the big stories is going to be the weather. Well, it is, and the wind is really whipping, and as you can see by what little hair I have, it's blowing around, and it's a gusty wind, and the rain is coming down pretty hard. And the other thing to consider is the fact that the 4 days of rain that we had on this field this week with no tarpaulin, it's going to be a quagmire. It has the potential to be by the second half. Okay, we're going to be back to talk with both head coaches, go over the starting lineups for you, but first we're going to pause for this message.
Woodside Pet Cemetery is a beautiful sanctuary for beloved pets with complete facilities available for all pets. Serenity reigns supreme at Woodside. Tucked discreetly in a little valley, surrounded by 9 rolling acres, we offer several options including private burial, and our pre-need plan is designed for pet owners who wish to plan ahead before the loss of a pet. Call us anytime. A considerate representative will answer all of your questions. 330-484-1997.
Nick Bolton here with the newest addition to our tactical line, the Bell & Howell Tax Shaver. Tax Shaver gives you a quick, razor-smooth shave, whether you're at home or on the go. It even has a built-in trimmer for sideburns and beards. And it works wet or dry for a great shave in even the harshest conditions. The Tax Shaver is completely waterproof.
Act now to get your Tax Shaver for just $29.99 with free shipping and is backed by our 10-year warranty. Order yours today.
I'm with veteran head coach of the Mount Union Purple Raiders, Ken Wabel. And, Coach, this is a good day to be up in the booth, but I know that's not why you do it. This entire year, Coach Wabel has not been on the sidelines, but has been looking at the field from a different perspective up in the crow's nest behind us. And, Coach, just a little bit of philosophy on why you've done that this year.
Well, basically, it's very simple, Harry. Larry Karras was our quarterback and backfield coach and had to get out of football because he became our athletic director. So I'm the next guy is from an experienced backfield viewpoint, and if I'm going to call the plays, I've got to be up there where I can see what's going on. So basically, that's the reason.
Ken, in terms of today's game, Baldwin Wallace has been kind of a thorn in your side. A lot of preparation goes into every game. Have you done anything special this week to be ready for Baldwin Wallace?
No, we haven't changed any offense or defense. We've had a tough time with the field because of the wetness. We haven't had a lot of good practice time this week, but we just got to play with more intensity when you play good teams, not necessarily put in a lot of new plays.
In terms of their personnel, what do you view as the key to stopping Baldwin Wallace here this afternoon?
Well, they have a fine split end, and they have a fine passing quarterback, and they've got a good runner in John Price. So those 3 guys are basically the hub of their offense. Defensively, they're strong and all over. They're number 1 in almost every defensive category in our Ohio Conference, and it's tough to run on them, it's tough to pass on them, it's tough to go inside, outside, or whatever. So we've got to be able to get some points, and then we've got to be able to hold them from getting more than what we've got.
As you can see, the weather's not cooperating, but Coach, do you do anything differently because of the weather? Is there the offensive game plan have to change?
Well, no, we're not a power team, and so we can't go to power formations and and modify that for weather. We still want to throw the ball and want to run veer plays and make pitch outs, and we just have to do it. Now, there's a couple little safer ways to do it than what would be in dry weather, but we have no other way of doing it other than just playing our ball game, which is wide open formations and throwing and running the ball.
Ken Whale, thanks very much for being with us, and best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms.
Attention e-cigarette users. The use of e-cigarette vaping devices such as Juul has been linked to serious health effects, especially in teens and young adults. If you or your child used a vaping device and suffered lung damage, seizures, nicotine poisoning, addiction, or any other serious health problem, you may be entitled to financial compensation.
Call 1-800-498-0115. That's 1-800-498-0115.
Talking with Bob Packard, currently in his 5th year as head coach of Baldwin Wallace. And Bob, what can you say? You just run up a phenomenal record in those 5 seasons.
Well, we've been very fortunate. The players have done a great job, and of course when I took over from Coach Trussell, we had a very solid program, and luckily we've been able to continue it so far.
Last week, you won against the Heidelberg team. They had you up in the early going, but then your team just bounced back with ferocity.
Well, I thought last week as a team we played very well. I thought the offense got some consistency that we've been looking for all year, and the defense has played well all year. So once those two things fit together, they did a very nice job against Heidelberg.
Okay, defense is going to be put to the test today. For right off the bat, Scott Woolf, how are you going to defense him?
Well, I'm not sure you can defense him. He's certainly the best quarterback that we've faced this year, and Mount Union has the best offense that we've faced this year in the sense that they've got better balance. We've faced teams that throw the ball very well. Mount Union's able to do both of them. They run the ball well and they pass the ball well, so it's going to really test our defense a great deal.
Offensively, Coach, what do you plan today?
Well, we're not going to change. We're going to try to mix in the run and the pass and see if we can try to keep Mount off balance a little bit.
Ed Graham came off the bench last week and sparked the ball club.
Ed Graham's done a real fine job for us this year. He's a sophomore that had never taken a snap before this year on the varsity level, and he stepped in and showed great maturity.
Your running backs a little bit on the banged-up side coming in?
We're a little concerned about that. Both Joel Steiner, our starting fullback, who did not play last week with a shoulder injury, is back, but he's not 100%, and John Price injured his shoulder last Saturday, and he's not 100% right now. Both of them are going to play, and hopefully they won't re-injure.
Is the weather going to be a key today, Coach?
Well, I'm afraid it is. You don't know how much rain we're going to get. The wind's going to be a factor, so we've got to take a look at field position.
One final question: what is the key to Baldwin Wallace winning today's ball game?
Well, I think the main key is trying to put some points on the board. I don't think there's no way that we're going to stop Mount from scoring. We've got to try to control their offense as much as possible and not make any crucial errors on offense.
Bob, pleasure talking to you, and
Thank
best
you,
of luck to you.
My pleasure.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now to give you deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but also my mattress toppers, sheets, and so much more. For example, you can get body pillows regularly $89.99, only $29.99 with your promo code. With our 60-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Sleep well, America!
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Welcome back to Mount Union Stadium. There you see the Mount Union College Purple Raiders about to take the field in what should be one whale of a contest. It's unfortunate, however, that the weatherman did not cooperate, as we've got a strong gusty wind and a cold, cold rain coming down here at game time. And what a contest this will be. The two teams are undefeated in the OAC, both with 6-0 records. Baldwin Wallace is 7-1 overall, the lone loss being to the Dayton Flyers, a perennial Division III power. They lost that game 20-9. Mount Union, meanwhile, undefeated overall and in the conference, and the Purple Raiders are looking for their first Ohio Conference football championship in their history. And here come the Mount Union Purple Raiders, and this is a fired-up campus, I want to tell you that. In coming into this one against Baldwin Wallace. They haven't beat the Yellow Jackets since 1949. The series record is 18-5 in favor of the Yellow Jackets. Let's take a look at that Mount Union offensive starting lineup. First, the quarterback and the man that Baldwin Wallace is going to have to contain to be successful, Scott Woolf, who's a senior from Beloit West Branch. The backfield looks like this. The fullback is 33, Tony Tarantino, a senior from East Lake St. Joseph. Halfback, Miles Jackson, number 35. He's a junior from Cleveland Benedictine. Scott Wolf's favorite targets, number 86, Bill Eyer at one wide receiver spot. And at the other is number 21, Vince Body, who's a junior from Cleveland Benedictine. The tight end, 88, Jeff Erskine, who's a junior from Mentor. And now the offensive line for the Purple Raiders. The center is Mark Berry. He is a senior from Fairview Park, went to St. Ed's High School. The guards are senior 67 Doug Hoff from Johnstown Monroe and 63 Jeff Woods, a senior from Willoughby South. The tackles at left tackle is Mike Groff, number 71, a junior from Dalton Tuslaw. And at the other tackle is 68 Dave Kowalski, who is a junior from Aurora. That sets the Purple Raiders on offense. Taking a look at them quickly on defense, they line up this way. On the line at left end is 66 Jeff Mayfield, who's a senior from Canal Fulton. The left tackle is 77 John Heather, a senior from Navarre Fairless High School. The right tackle is 58 Mike Jarrett, a junior from Smithville. Right end is number 97 Roger Miller, who's a senior from Kingsville. The linebackers, left outside 44 Chris Weber, a junior from Stowe. Right outside is Pat Brandon, 56, a junior from East Cleveland. Left inside linebacker 57 Carl Wagner, a senior from Garfield Heights. Right inside linebacker is 34 Dan Petcavage, a junior from Massillon Tuslaw. And then the defensive backfield, left cornerback 38 Greg Flasco, a junior from Stowe. Right cornerback Neil Kime, number 22, a senior from Lakewood. And the free safety, number 42, Vic Harris, a junior from Cleveland Rhodes High School. That gives you the Purple Raiders, and we'll pick up Baldwin Wallace as the game goes along, as it would appear that the Purple Raiders will receive the football, and the wind definitely going to be a factor in this one as it's blowing in from the south. And predictions are that it will eventually come around from the west, and if that happens, we're in trouble up here in the press box because it is raining and raining hard, and there are no windows. So you'll have to bear with us if the statistics become a little bit wet and a little bit hard to read. But we're ready for action. The fans certainly are. One of the great games that has ever been played on Mount Union College's campus. And here to bring you the play-by-play, John Caparanis. Cap?
Thank you very much, Harry. And again, a pleasant good day to you, sports fans. Baldwin Wallace, as Harry indicated, will do the kicking off to open up the ball game. And this one is for all the marbles in the Ohio Athletic Conference. Number 30, Wade Masad, getting set to put it in play for the Yellow Jackets. There's a good shot at him. And it is raining quite hard here at Mount Union Stadium. The two beat men for Mount Union at about their own 5-yard line. Number 21, Vince Body. Number 30, Joe Knoll. And we are just about set to play, but again, that wind, which will be a factor in today's ball game, right off the bat kicks the ball off, or blows the ball off the kicking team. Baldwin Wallace, they won their last 38 regular season OAC contests. Last year, upending Mount Union in a close one, 15-14. Mount Union with 9 straight overall victories. Masad set, and this ball game is underway. Vince Body will field it at his own 5-yard line. Body to the 10, Body to the 15, Body to the 20, Body 25, Body over the 30 to the 33-yard line. No evidence of any slippery footing down on the field on the opening kickoff. That as the game progresses, I'm sure we're going to see more and more of that factor. In the backfield again for Mount Union, and a potent offense it is. The quarterback, number 15, Scott Woolf. The fullback, a man who picked up 164 yards last week in an impressive victory over a tough Wittenberg Tiger Ball Club, Tony Tarantino. And running alongside him at the halfback spot, number 35, Miles Jackson. Tarantino, the ball carrier, picks up maybe 2 on the play out to the 35-yard line.
Well, Tony Tarantino had quite a day against Wittenberg last week, and again, Mount Union likes to run the football, but Scott Woolf, being the multiple threat that he is, throws it equally as well as he runs it, and we'll be seeing a lot of him, but Mount trying to set the tone here by getting the running game going to Tarantino.
Second down, 8 yards to go. Woolf to put it up. Flat pass, wide open, 43, first down, 45, Billy Eyer, 50. Eyer, 45, 43-yard line of Baldwin Wallace. That passing combination clicked for 6 times last week against Wittenberg, and we're going to look at it again.
Well, Woolf dropping straight back, and I want to tell you, Eyer was wide open on the right sideline. There you see the ball, and the wind really played havoc with that ball. It held up there a long time. Vince Body up there to give a nice block and spring Eyer for a few more yards, and Billy Eyer, after he caught the football, made a nice run, and it's in Baldwin Wallace's territory. Mount Union likes to take control early, and that's what they're trying to do here.
23-yard pickup that time. Drop play, Tarantino running room, 40, 35, first down to the 30 to the 27-yard line of Baldwin Wallace. This is unusual. Baldwin Wallace with the top-ranked defense in the conference. They're only giving up a grand total of 183 yards per contest. But you have, as we mentioned again in our pregame, Harry, the classic confrontation between the strong offense and that number 33, that man right there, one of the reasons for the strong offensive showing of Mount Union versus the superb defense of Baldwin Wallace.
You know, they've been talking a lot about Scott Woolf throughout the conference in every city that you visit, but Tony Tarantino has been doing it lately and really keeping the defenses honest.
Erskine, the tight end in motion. Woolf to put it up, 1st and 10. Drop-off pass, complete. Out of bounds. Was it a completed pass at the 22? Apparently it was. On the receiving end for the Mount Union Ball Club, the Purple Raiders tight end Jeff Erskine, the man who went in motion. They're going to spot it down at the 23-yard line, so call it a 4-yard pickup on the play, and the right cornerback, Mike Diederich, making the stop for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, here we see Woolf again, throwing to the wide side of the field. Erskine is there, but boy, does he get a hit there by Diederich. And the ball popped loose, but it was ruled a completion.
Second down, 6 yards to go. Dump off pass to Tarantino. Has a blocker, gets inside the 20, maybe to the 19-yard line. Let's see where they spot his knee down. Be about a 3-yard pickup on the play, and it'll set up our first 3rd down conversion attempt of the ball game. They're going to spot it right at the 20-yard line, so call it 3rd down. About 3 yards to go for Mount Union.
You know, if you're thinking field goal, and I know the Purple Raiders aren't, that wind is so stiff that even though the ball's at the 20-yard line, even if they get it inside the 10, it's going to be questionable going into that strong, gusty wind.
On that tackle, number 41, right inside linebacker, All-American Kurt Bodeker for Baldwin Wallace. 3rd down, 3 yards to go. Woolf, play action pass, dumps it off inside the 15, and incompleted pass. Intended for Jeff Pescick at the 10-yard line, but that is our first example of the wet field conditions that the two teams are playing in this afternoon.
Well, and it's going to get worse. There's no question about that. That field has taken a lot of rain. In fact, 5 inches of rain fell between Sunday and Thursday here in Alliance, and it dried off a little bit on Friday, but here it is raining again, and the field going to be a quagmire by the time it's over.
4th down, 3 yards to go from the 20-yard line of Baldwin Wallace. Mount Union with Scott Woolf firing, complete for the 1st down at the 15-yard line. Number 86, Billy Eyer on the receiving end. It'll go as a 5-yard pickup. The Purple Raiders needed 3, 1st down, 10 yards to go.
Well, Scott Woolf, what a great athlete he is, but he's been finding Bill Eyer a lot lately. Vince Body has been his prime receiver, but look at Eyer. He's right there, knows where he needs to go for the 1st down, and even though it's sent back a ways, forward progress gives him the ball at the 15, and the Purple Raiders continue on the move. Woolf 4 or 5 passing in this drive.
Body will split about 15 to the right side. Billy Eyer slotted right side. Scott Woolf rolling right, rolling, firing into the end zone. Incomplete. Good defensive effort at the goal line by, I believe that's number 3 from the defensive backfield for the Yellow Jackets, Chuck Houck, the left side cornerback. That will set up 2nd down, 10 yards to go for the Purple Raiders from the Baldwin Wallace 15-yard line.
Well, Houck did make the play, no question about that. Scott Woolf now 4 of 6, good for 34 yards in this drive. Tarantino has been the sole runner. He's carried it twice for 18 yards.
Again, the same offensive formation. Vince Body split 15 to the right. Eyer slotted right. Scott Woolf firing into the end zone. Billy Eyer for the touchdown. Had his man beat by a couple of steps, and Scott Woolf laid it right in there for the first score of the ball game. It comes with 12:04 remaining first quarter. Look at it again, Harry.
Well, Scott Woolf just dropped straight back. Eyer just right across the middle, does beat his man, and look, you get a great view of the football. Touchdown, nobody really close to him. Eyer made the play, and Woolf laid it right into him.
5th time that passing combination has clicked for a touchdown on the 85 season. And that culminated a 68-yard drive, 12:04 first quarter, the score. Coming on the 15-yard pass completion from Scott Woolf to Billy Eyer. Jim Collins to attempt to add on the 7-point. Ball is down. Kick against that stiff wind is perfect. That will make it a 7-0 score in favor of Mount Union. We'll be back with the Purple Raider kickoff following this message.
Are you aware that you could pay less for your car insurance?
Seniors can save money on their car insurance.
You might save a little, you might save a lot.
Maybe hundreds of dollars a year.
You might save 5% a year, maybe 10%, 15%, or even more.
That's a lot of money. So call right now and find out just how much money you might be able to save.
1-800-762-0408. 1-800-762-0408.
67 yards, 9 plays. The Purple Raiders take a 7-0 lead on their first possession of the game. And now we'll get a chance to take a look at that potent Baldwin Wallace offense.
Jim Collins will kick off. There is number 11 for Mount Union, the man who just converted on the extra point. And there was a flag as unsportsmanlike conduct against Baldwin Wallace, apparently following the extra point. So that'll cost 15 on the ensuing kickoff and move the ball all the way down to the 45-yard line of the Yellow Jackets.
And Jim Collins is going to need every yard of that, given the way the wind is blowing into his face. And there you see the call.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the receiving team.
By the way, the referee for today's ball game, and we will find it here in 1 minute.
It's John Cameron is the referee. We might as well run down the officials for you while we have a chance. John Cameron, the referee. The umpire is Van Park. John Shelton is the back judge. Tony Pelican, the line judge, and Ray Wood is the head linesman. Good thing we had a backup copy of that, isn't it?
It sure is. Things are going to get wet up here, even wetter than they are. Collins to kick off, and the deep men for Baldwin Wallace at their own goal line now. Number 2, Vince Funeri, and number 25, Tim Drabick. Short kick, filled it at the 15 to the 20, up to the 25-yard line. Number 48 returning the kickoff for Baldwin Wallace, about 7 yards, George Starr. He was brought down by Brent Aliff on the play, and that is where Baldwin Wallace will put it in play offensively for the first time. 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line, and again, let's go through the backfield for the Yellow Jackets. At quarterback, the sophomore Ed Graham, number 16, and his 2 running backs. Conyers is one, Lauren Conyers. We'll have to wait and see who the other one is. Ball carrier is Lauren Conyers for maybe a yard. A hard yard up to the 26-yard line. Danny Petkavich, number 34. He had 10 solos last week against Wittenberg, making the initial contact. They're going to give forward progress out to the 27, so call it 2nd down, and a long 8 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace. John Price along with Conyers in the backfield. The wingback, number 21 for Baldwin Wallace, Mike Carney. Pass by Graham, intended for Carney at the 50-yard line. He was open, but that wind just took that pass and zoomed it about 5 yards beyond the intended receiver.
Yeah, the quarterbacks are going to have to be aware of just lobbing the ball because the wind is going to either act for them or against them. Here we see Ed Graham. He's a good drop-back passer. And there you see the ball just kind of take off on him. 2 Purple Raiders were there to meet the intended receiver, but didn't have to do it.
So that will set up 3rd down, 8 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets from their own 27-yard line. Price, the man in motion. Graham looking. Graham with time over the middle, wide open at the 40 for the first down up to the 42-yard line. On the receiving end, number 83, split end, Dale Miller, All-American last year, 1984, and Dan Petkavich making the stop, but not before a 15-yard pickup for the Yellow Jackets and their first down of the ballgame.
There you see the graphic, 38 consecutive OAC regular season games for the Yellow Jackets. Very methodical team.
Lining up with a wing tee in the backfield. Miller split to the right side. Graham again into the air. Fires intended, intercepted at the 27-yard line. Vic Harris, for the 7th consecutive ball game, comes up with a pickoff out of the defensive backfield for the Purple Raiders.
Well, Vic Harris was right there at the right time as the ball once again by Graham was overthrown, and he's not playing the wind yet. As he overthrows the receiver, Graham again dropping straight back, gets good protection, has plenty of time, but again, it looks like the ball sails on him a little bit, and Harris reading it extremely well, gets his 7th consecutive interception, as you mentioned, Cap. That's quite an accomplishment by a defensive back.
10:53 remaining first quarter, Mount Union leading 7-0, and Wolf to put it up. Under pressure, fires, intended for body, incomplete, really hammered at the 45-yard line.
Boy, that was quite a hit there by Baldwin Wallace's 41, Kurt Bodeker. And we see why Bodeker is an All-American. As Wolf does well to get rid of the ball here and avoid the loss. Ball kind of hangs up there and body just can't hang on, and look at the hit by Bodeker.
2nd down, 10 yards to go from their own 37-yard line.
There you see a shot of the crowd, and if the weather would have held, this place would have been jammed as it is. It's an excellent crowd, perhaps the best crowd of the year for the Purple Raiders.
First time they touched the ball, they drove 67 yards for the touchdown. Flat pass completed to Erskine over the 40 to the 41-yard line, met by a whole host of Yellow Jacket defenders. Left outside linebacker John Gigliotti, helped out by Mike Dieterich. 3rd down, about 6 yards to go for the Purple Raiders.
Now you see the umbrellas, but actually it's brightening, and the rain is not pelting us quite as much as it was, but it's still windy and cold. So we'll be giving you updated weather reports as we go along here, because the weather definitely going to be a factor in this one.
Lining up with body split to the right side. Wolf to put it up, 3rd and medium. Pressure, dump off pattern to Tarantino. There is that slippery footing. Tony Tarantino gets back in the vicinity of the line of scrimmage, but no more. That will set up our first punting situation of the ballgame.
Well, Wolf had a notion to go deep. He did spot Tarantino there. He wanted to throw it, but the intended receiver covered. Throws it behind Tarantino, and then it's tough with this footing. He really made the effort to try to get the first down, but couldn't get there.
Randy Powell to do the booting. Shanks it against the wind, hitting inside the 40, and will roll dead at the 33-yard line of Baldwin Wallace. So that is where the Yellow Jackets will put it in play. First down, 10 yards to go with 9 minutes, 18 seconds remaining first quarter. Mount Union leading this OAC confrontation 7-0.
Now the Yellow Jackets now with a little bit better field position than what they had in their first attempted drive, which was stalled by an interception.
Ed Graham had one of his passes picked off to thwart the first possession for Baldwin Wallace. That's Price, and he is being wrapped up by big number 77. John Heather had quite a game last week against Wittenberg, and he continues right where he left off. It'll go as a 2-yard loss and set up 2nd and 12.
Now watch Price get wrapped up here by Heather, and there's some question about the ball popping loose when it did. Evidently the whistle had blown because it had nothing to do with him hitting the ground. And it'll go as a 1-yard loss for Price. There you see Bob Packard, the head mentor of Baldwin Wallace.
2nd and 12. They caught it along 11 from their own 32-yard line. Baldwin Wallace with the football, and Price the man in motion. Conyers the only man behind quarterback Ed Graham. Graham with room to ramble. He'll get up to the 35, close to the first down as he crosses the 40. He needs to get up to close to the 44, so call it an 8-yard pickup. 3rd down, along 3 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets.
Now, Ed Graham is a contrast to Luke Altieri, who was injured in the last game against Heidelberg. Altieri suffered a separated shoulder, and he likes to run the ball. Ed Graham, on the other hand, a better passer, but he came out of the pocket there and gained some nice yardage for the Yellow Jackets.
Roger Miller, Pat Brandon, and Dan Petkavich teaming up to stop him. 3rd down, along 3 yards to go. Graham, dump off pattern to Price. He is going to be met at about the 42-yard line. Might have picked up one on the play, but quickly closing for the Purple Raiders. Number 38, Greg Flasco.
Well, Flasco makes the play here, and I think Graham all along was thinking Price as he came out of the backfield, but look at Flasco come up and nail him.
Chris Weber also helping out on the play, and this will be the first punting situation for Baldwin Wallace. Stanfield to do the booting from about his own 25-yard line. Nolan body back deep, and he takes advantage of the wind. That drives Knoll all the way back to the 10-yard line, looking for running room on the far side, to the 15, still on his feet, to the 20, and that is where number 30, Joe Knoll, will be down after about a 10-yard punt return. Boomer by Stanfield, but again, the wind at his back added about 10 yards to the boot. John Polis, freshman out of St. Edward's High School in North Olmsted, making the stop on Joe Knoll. 1st down, 10 yards to go for the Purple Raiders with 7:07 remaining first quarter. 7-0 ball game. Mount Union with the lead and with the football. Running room a little bit for number 25, Mike Zemrock. Moves it up to the 25-yard stripe. 190-pound senior out of Triway High School in Worcester, Ohio.
Zemrock stopped by Tom Mayernick.
Tom Mayernick, the left inside linebacker, bringing down Zemrock after the 5-yard scamper. 2nd down, 5 yards to go from their own 25-yard line. Knoll split to the left side. Handoff inside to Tarantino for nothing. Defensive tackle number 75, Stacy Brandt, right there to meet Tony Tarantino. 3rd down, 5 yards to go for the Purple Raiders. Scoring early in this ball game could be instrumental as we move on down the line, especially with the condition that the field is going to turn into in about another quarter. Erskine in motion. Draw play. Zemrock. Maybe 2 yards out to the 27-yard line, and that will be it. Show you an example of the defensive prowess of Baldwin Wallace. Last week, Heidelberg gained a grand total of negative 12 yards on the ground.
Boy, they can really do it. And, of course, Shane Fulton for Heidelberg, one of the fine quarterbacks. And they like to throw the ball, but nonetheless, Baldwin Wallace with a fine, fine defense, and they very quick. And showed it there in stopping Zemrock short of the 1st down.
Randy Powell to do the booting from his own 12. Showed that one on the first hop. Fair catch indicated and grabbed at the 50-yard line. The number 83, the punt return man, Dave Miller for Baldwin Wallace. 23-yard punt, no return. 1st down, 10 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, the Yellow Jackets winning the battle of real estate here, as on the last couple of possessions, they've continued to gain yardage. But that's because the Purple Raiders going into the wind, it's really tough to get any kind of a good punt off. And they'll start from midfield this time.
Conyers and Price, the 2 men behind sophomore quarterback Ed Graham. Miller flanked to the right side. Graham to put it up. Graham firing over the middle, complete to Miller. Inside the 35, down to the 30-yard line. Victor Harris in on the stop, but not before a 20-yard pass completion. That's the second first down of the ball game for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, this is why Miller is what he is, a fine receiver. Graham avoids the rush as two men, they double team Heather there. Finds Miller, throws it behind him, but again, he made a fine reception and caught it in a crowd and picked up the 20 yards.
5 minutes exactly remaining first quarter. First scoring threat of the ball game for Baldwin Wallace. Price, the man in motion. Graham, another dump-off pass complete inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. Number 47, Jim Bohr, the wingback from Westlake, making the reception. About an 8-yard pickup on the play, and again the free safety, Vic Harris, making the stop. But second down, let's call it 2 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace.
Well, Graham is finding his groove. His last 3 passes have been in the arms of his receivers. Price catching one for 1 yard, then Miller for 20, now Moore for 7.
Dan Richards will slot to the left side. Mike Carney split to the left side. 2nd and 2, ball carrier Price inching his way toward the first down marker. I don't think he made it. He had to get inside the 21. Got down to just about the 21-yard line, where he was met by number 34, Danny Petkavich, from his right inside linebacking spot for Mount Union. 3rd down, a long yard to go for the Yellow Jackets. Starting this drive at the 50-yard line. They will send Carney's flank to the left side. Miller split about 7 to the right side. 3rd and 2, quarterback keeper, and Graham lunges for the first down to the 20-yard line. John Heather making the stop, but not before. Ed Graham will pick up the 3rd first down of the ball game for Baldwin Wallace. It comes with 3:15 remaining first quarter. First down, 10 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets.
There you see the Purple Raider bench. Tom Madera all bundled up.
Well, one bright spot, the rain has stopped, Harry.
That's true. That's true. It's cold, but how long will it hold off? I don't know.
Carney splitting about 17 to the left side. First down, 10 yards to go. Ball, no, fake into the line. Graham firing down and out pattern intended for Miller, thrown behind him. And back on pass coverage from Mount Union, the left outside linebacker, number 44, Chris Weber. Incompleted pass will make it a 2nd down and 10 situation from the 20-yard line, the Mount Union 20-yard line.
Nice fake into the line, and Miller, right corner of your screen there, just cannot hang on to the football. He was covered like a blanket by that defensive secondary of the Purple Raiders.
One man behind quarterback Ed Graham. That's Lon Conyer. Graham again into the air. Pass almost picked off at the 8-yard line.
That was a fine play there by Kevin Pilmer, it appeared to be.
Kevin Pilmer, number 65, had his hands on it, couldn't contain it. It'll go as an incompletion and set up 3rd down, 10 yards to go from the Mount Union 20-yard line with 2 minutes, 51 seconds remaining first quarter. And Mount Union trying to protect that 7-0 lead. Miller split to the right side. Drabek in motion. Graham to throw. Graham firing, has a man open at the 10, inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Jimmy Bohr on the receiving end, brought down by Greg Flasco, but a 12-yard pass completion, good enough for the 1st and goal situation for Baldwin Wallace.
Well, here we see Graham dropping straight back. A nice rush, but the Purple Raiders kept out of there just long enough. And there you see Moore with the reception. Good camera work there.
Excellent job. First down, goal to go at the 9-yard line. Baldwin Wallace trying to score before the end of the first quarter to take advantage of this win factor here at Mount Union Stadium. Flat pass to Price for no gain. Big hit by number 22, Neil Keim, out of the defensive backfield for Mount Union. Pass completion for no yards. It'll set up 2nd down, 9 yards to go for the touchdown.
Purple Raiders throughout the season have been tough inside the 10. And yet, if you're going to be any team to score against them, it's got to be Baldwin Wallace, because they can do about anything. They've got the big running back in Price. Graham, as we can see, throws the ball quite well, and they've got some fine receivers. So let's see what happens here.
Miller will split to the right side. Dan Richards slotted right side. Price, the man in motion. Graham intended for Carney inside the 5. Pass over his head. Vic Harris back on pass coverage. 3rd down, 9 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace. Kind of surprised to see BW putting it in the air this much, Harry.
Yeah, I really am. They've thrown the ball now 11 times. I think it would be different if Luke Altieri were in there, but Ed Graham is a pure passer, and they're trying to take advantage of his arm. In fact, they've only run the ball 5 times compared to 11 throws so far.
Coming into the ball game, Graham 80 out of 140 attempts, 12 touchdowns, hitting 57% of his passes. 3rd down, 9 yards to go from the Mont Union 9-yard line. Price in motion. Graham has room to ramble, throws it into the end zone. No good. He was on the end line. Mike Carney was.
Mike Carney's not happy, as you can see.
The official right on the spot, and we're going to look at it again.
Well, Graham got into some trouble, had a little bit of room to roam, but decided instead to take the safe route and throw the ball. There you see, well, you can't tell whether he landed in or out, but I'm sure he feels like he was in.
That will set up 4th down and field goal time for Bob Packard's ball club. Wade Massad on the holdout of Dave Miller. The kick is up and the kick is good. Massad 7 for 9 in the field goal department, coming in, makes it 8 out of 10 and puts Baldwin Wallace on the board with 1:26 remaining first quarter. We'll be back with a VW kickoff, but first we're going to pause for this.
Are you behind on your mortgage? Is the bank threatening to take your home? Are you considering trying to get a loan modification on your own? Did you know that less than 5% of people who tried on their own actually got a modification? At the Mortgage Modification Helpline, we know the rules and regulations banks don't want you to know about, and we've helped thousands of people stay in their homes. So call the Mortgage Modification Helpline today.
Please call 800-631-2169.
Well, Wade Massad makes it 7-3 as he punches through a 26-yard field goal. Purple Raiders did well to keep Baldwin Wallace at 3 points there, as they had a fine drive starting at the 50-yard line and had it 1st and goal inside the 10 and could not put it in for 6. So some consolation there and holding them to 3, and now it'll be the Purple Raiders on the receiving end, still going against the wind with 1:26 remaining first quarter.
Massad to kick off to either Vince Body or Joe Knoll back at their own 3-yard line with the wind behind him. Line drive kick. Fielded by one of the up men at the 18 to the 20, 25, running room 30, up to the 32-yard line, number 80 on the return, Tim Picciotti, 185-pound junior from Cuyahoga Falls High School. The Black Knights, 1st down, 10 yards to go for Mont Union, 1:21 remaining in the first quarter. A quarter that saw Mont Union receive the opening kickoff and proceed to march 67 yards for a touchdown, converting on the extra point. And as you just witnessed, Wade Massad for Baldwin Wallace coming up with a 26-yard field goal to make it a 7-3 ball game. Wolf on the draw to Tarantino, might have got up to the 32-yard line. Again, number 75, defensive left tackle Stacy Brandt, tripping up Tony Tarantino. Let's give him 1 yard on the play and call it 2nd down. Along 9 yards to go.
Well, Purple Raiders have been stymied on their last 2 drives after scoring the initial time they had the football. Would do their confidence a whole lot of good if they could pick up a 1st down here in this drive.
Wolf firing to Knoll at the 34. Fumble on the play. Recovered by Baldwin Wallace at the 20-yard line. Knoll was hit hard by number 19, Mike Diederich, and it was number 98, Phil Trupo, 235-pound senior from Berea, that came up with the first turnover of the ball game with 44 seconds remaining first quarter.
Well, Diederich did the fine job of hitting Knoll after he caught the football, and the ball squirted loose toward the goal line, and that was a big break for BW there.
7-3 the score. Mount Union with the lead, but Baldwin Wallace, 1st and 10 at the Mount Union 21-yard line. Sophomore quarterback Ed Graham. With Mike Carney split to the left side. John Price, the man in motion. Flat pass to Price, incomplete. Had a couple of blockers ahead of him, but the pass leading him by maybe a half a yard too much. That'll stop the clock with 41 seconds remaining in the first quarter and set up 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Mentioning the Baldwin Wallace defensive stats, Mount Union not too shabby either. They're 2nd in the OAC total team defense. The Purple Raiders giving up just 265 yards per ball game. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Graham looking, gonna be hit. He's gonna be nailed back at the 24-yard line.
John Heather's the one that broke through to make initial contact with him, and then he was joined by a bunch of other Purple Raiders. Heather really does the job here. He just simply beats his man. Graham trying to find the man open, but look at that big right arm. Just grabbed the helmet, and he got help from his teammates to bring Graham down to make 3rd and 13.
12 seconds remaining first quarter. Baldwin Wallace taking their time getting to the line of scrimmage. They have to go for the field goal. They're not going to have the wind behind them because this is going to be the last play of the first quarter. Price in motion. 3rd down, 13. Graham looking, firing, incomplete. Dave Miller, the intended receiver at the 15-yard line, and again Chris Weber back on pass coverage. And that is the end of the first quarter. So after 1 at Mount Union Stadium in Alliance, Ohio, the score: Mount Union Purple Raiders 7, Baldwin Wallace 3. We'll be back with second quarter action. But first, we're going to pause for this message.
Uh-oh, still stuck slicing slow? That old knife has got to go. Introducing NutriChopper, the compact handheld speed slicer that cuts up to 10 times quicker than a knife. Watch, you can have 1 slice or 10 perfect slices at once, or mince a mound of onions and never have time for tears. NutriChopper comes with the razor-sharp interchangeable stainless steel blades you need to make all of the cuts you want, and all incredibly quick. And NutriChopper comes with a perfect portion container and fresh-keeping lid, so you can slice it, seal it, and store it. And now the NutriChopper with the thin slice, thick slice, wedge, and cube blades, and the slice and store container and lid, a value of over $40, is yours for just $19.99. But wait, order now and we'll even pay the shipping for you. You get the complete NutriChopper set with blades and container with lids, all for just $19.99 with free shipping. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-632-0152. That's 1-800-632-0152, or go online to NutriChopper.com. Order now.
Back here at Mount Union Stadium, it's 7-3. We're about to begin the second quarter of play, and it's going to start with a 41-yard field goal attempt by Wade Masad into a very strong win for Baldwin Wallace. And Masad does have the foot and kicks the line drive. Won't be hung up quite as much as you would be maybe with the straight-on kicker.
Out of the hold of Dave Miller. If he converts, it'll make it a 7-6 score. Ball is down, kick is in the air, and it will be way short. Way short, and Mount Union's defense does hold after the turnover. That is where the Mount Union Purple Raiders will put it in play. 1st down, 10 yards to go.
That was a great defensive series by the Purple Raiders. You'd think with the ball at the 20-yard line, they would be a little bit down after the offense turned it over, but they really rose to the occasion. You have to give credit to Heather once again with that fine pass rush and made the big play to down Ed Graham, setting up that long field goal attempt. And really, time ran out there in terms of Baldwin Wallace because they would have had the win in a 41-yard field goal attempt at the other end.
Scott Woolf, 1st and 10. Woolf under pressure, fires over the middle, has a man complete. That's Vince Body outside the 35 up to the 38-yard line. 15-yard pass completion. That will be good enough for a Mount Union 1st down.
Scott Woolf dropping straight back. He gets lots of pressure here and gets hit as he throws. Got it off just in the nick of time. There you see the pass, and Body cutting across the middle, gets the ball. And it's Diedrich who comes up with the big tackle, making sure that Body doesn't slip away.
Body, 170-pound junior out of Cleveland Benedictine High School. The Bengals up Cleveland way into the playoffs this year. Scott Woolf looking. Scott Woolf on 1st and 10 under pressure. Scott Woolf going to run with the football to the 40, out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. Looked like he was going to be nailed back at the 30-yard line. Tremendous pressure put on him. A flag on the play, however. But Woolf evaded the tackler and picked up 4 yards.
That's in Mount Union holding territory. And that is the preliminary indication. It'll go against the Purple Raiders.
That will nullify a 4-yard pickup by Woolf. Spotted the infraction, was the 33-yard line of the Purple Raiders. They'll take it from the line of scrimmage. That will move it back inside the 30-yard line to the 29 and set up first down, 20 yards to go.
Well, Scott Woolf has been getting quite a bit of pressure here lately. Baldwin Wallace's defensive line getting through. That time rolled him out of the pocket and
Purple 63.
Forced one of the...
Same down, no, first down. First down.
There you heard John Cameron.
Out of bounds. Here we go.
First down, 20 yards to go from their own 29-yard line. Had linesmen keeping the ball in the air till the team gets up to the line of scrimmage. Behind Mark Berry, the center. Woolf again looking, again with pressure. Again, going to fire the football. Incomplete, body the intended receiver at the 36-yard line. Number 37, Tom Mayernick. Left inside linebacker, keeping his eyes glued on body and broke it up for the incompletion. Second down, 20 yards to go for the Purple Raiders.
Baldwin Wallace doing a great job defensively right now, as good secondary coverage is keeping Woolf from throwing the ball. And the line giving him a little bit of pressure. Those last 2 plays have indicated exactly how quick that Baldwin Wallace front 4 can be. And what a good job their secondary has done.
Body will split about 15 to the right side. Billy Eyer slotted right side. Woolf to throw, flag on the play. Woolf trying to set up the screen. Tarantino, the intended receiver, at about the 35-yard line. Pass incomplete, but again a flag on the play. John Cameron will give us the indication. Motion penalty.
Motion, Purple.
Likely be declined. It would set up, if they decline the penalty, a 3rd and 20. Otherwise, 2nd and 25, you have to think they would take the down. There you see, it is declined, and 3rd and long now for the Purple Raiders.
Just about a minute gone here in the second quarter as you look at some of the Purple Raider cheerleaders on the far sideline. 7-3, Mount Union with the lead. This is for all the marbles in the Ohio Athletic Conference for the 1985 season. Also carrying with it a probable postseason playoff spot. 3rd down, long yardage for the Purple Raiders. Erskine in motion, draw play, and nothing going. Tarantino, the ball carrier, and he was hammered again by number 75, Stacy Brandt, right at the line of scrimmage. Might have picked up 1 on the play, but that will set up a 4th down. Punting situation for Mount Union.
Tom Mayernick came up to make the big stop there, and Tarantino, who was very successful on the draw play last week, so far 19 yards and 5 carries. BW has held him in check.
Well, Randy Powell will have the back to his, or the one to his back for the first time. Heading inside the 30, picked up at the 26. That's Miller with running room. Across the 30, 35, out of bounds on the far sideline. Let's see where he stepped out. At about the 42-yard line. And Mike Zemrock saving a possible punt return for a TD by Dave Miller. They're going to spot him out of bounds back at the 37-yard line.
Miller did a great job once he got the football. Powell on the punt fell as he kicked the ball, so we're starting to see the slick conditions having a factor on this one.
13 minutes, 17 seconds remaining first half. 7-3 the score, Mount Union with the lead. Ball carrier, that's Price hurdling his way to the 42-yard line. Danny Petkavage, number 34, making the initial contact for Mount Union. A 4-yard pickup on the play. Second down, 6 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets.
Second down and 6. The ball down at the Baldwin Wallace 42.
Baldwin Wallace, winner of 38 consecutive Ohio Athletic Conference regular season ball games. They will send Mike Carney split to the left side. Graham to throw on 2nd and 6. Graham over the middle, has a man, incomplete at the 40-yard line. Pass was there, but number 86 for the Yellow Jackets, Jim Haviland, unable to hang on to it.
Well, Graham gets some time here. He looks left, but things are pretty well covered there. Haviland is across the middle. Kind of left his feet too soon. A bit of mistiming on his part. Not a bad pass by Graham.
So that will set up 3rd down, about 6 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace. Currently 2 out of 5 in 3rd down conversion attempts. Graham has room to rebel, but he's going to be dragged down from behind at the 46-yard line. Needed to get up to the 48. But Roger Miller, number 97, from his right end spot, coming up to make the stop and set up a 4th down punting situation for Baldwin Wallace.
Well, Miller made a great play there. He's got 11 quarterback sacks this season. And although Graham picked up some yardage that time, Miller prevented the 1st down and stopped the drive.
Joe Knoll, Vince Body back deep at their own 20-yard line to return the punt. And the punter for Baldwin Wallace, Dave Stanfield, out of Dyersburg, Tennessee, to do the booting from his own 30-yard line. High snap from center. Stanfield's kick will hit at the 30, roll inside the 25, and be down to the 23-yard line. And again, you saw evidence of the win factor here at Mount Union. That ball in the air was going on a perfect line until it hit about the 33. Then like it hit a brick wall, went down at the 30 and rolled about 7 more yards. That's where Mount Union will put it in play. 1st down, 10 yards to go with 11:43 remaining 1st half.
Well, this was going to be billed as a wide open ball game offensively, but I think the weather's had something to do with it. And right now we've settled into a fine defensive battle for this 1st half.
Flags all over the place. Free play for Mount Union as Scott Woolf will turn the corner and get up to the 30 to the 33-yard line. Looked like encroachment on the part of Baldwin Wallace prior to the snap of the football. Wolf picking up 9 on the play. And now the officials conferring to make sure that he wasn't drawn off by one of the interior linemen from Mount Union.
The indication is offsides against the defense.
Well, you have to think the Purple Raiders will take the yardage here. By the way, it is raining once again.
Right down. Take it up here, it's going to be a refusal.
Let's hear John Cameron.
Encroachment in the neutral zone. White, refused.
So on the encroachment call, it'll be 2nd down, about a yard to go for the Purple Raiders. Mount Union's offense scoring 44 touchdowns coming into this one, and with that 1st quarter TD, that's number 45 on the year. That was only the 8th TD surrendered by the Baldwin Wallace defense. To show you where these two teams are coming from. 2nd down, a yard to go. Erskine in motion. Ball carrier Tarantino has the 1st down. Across the 35 to the 36-yard line. That is 1st down, number 5 for the Purple Raiders.
And it's the first down for the Purple Raiders in 3 possessions. So Baldwin Wallace has been tough, but you know, every time it rains, it seems like the Purple Raiders pick up some yardage. So maybe that's what they want on their side.
Yeah, they have the wind to their back in the 2nd quarter also. Of course, the scoring drive by Mount Union was against the wind, which made it doubly more impressive. Erskine in motion. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Scott Woolf under pressure, dumps it off. Incompleted pass.
Nick Bolton here with the newest addition to our tactical line, the Bell & Howell Tax Shaver. Tax Shaver gives you a quick, razor-smooth shave, whether you're at home or on the go. It even has a built-in trimmer for sideburns and beards. And it works wet or dry for a great shave in even the harshest conditions. The Tax Shaver is completely waterproof.
Act now to get your Tax Shaver for just $29.99 with free shipping and is backed by our 10-year warranty. Order yours today.
Mount Union College is proud to present its new sports medicine major. Housed within the physical education and health departments, it is designed to teach students to become certified athletic trainers.
Athletic training is a healthcare profession for athletes. Their main goal is to prevent injuries from occurring, and when they do occur, to rehabilitate them as quickly as possible to get the athlete back in action. Mount Union's program is sponsored by the National Athletic Trainers Association, and through completion of their rigorous curriculum, each student then becomes a certified athletic trainer. All 20 intercollegiate athletic teams use the top-rate facilities at the college. These include a complete room for taping, whirlpool, ultrasound, and electrical muscle stimulation, along with other state-of-the-art equipment. If you are interested in becoming an athletic trainer or would just like to have more information, contact Dan Gorman at Mount Union College.
That sets up a 2nd and 10 now for the Purple Raider.
11 minutes, 8 seconds remaining, second quarter. Billy Eyer will flank to the near side. Wolf firing, intercepted at the 42-yard line. Defensive back Jeff Sable, 181-pound junior from Nordonia High School in Northfield, coming up with the second turnover of the ball game by Mount Union.
Well, Sable makes a great play as Wolf trying the sideline pattern, and Sable was there to pick it off. And that's only the 6th interception against Scott Woolf this year.
So first down, 10 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace. Last time they had a turnover, they recovered a fumble at the 20-yard line of Mount Union. But when the smoke had cleared or the wind had settled down, whichever today, Baldwin Wallace is back at the Mount Union 24-yard line. Graham under pressure, going to be hit from behind.
Boy, it was number 44, Chris Weber, with the pursuit.
Weber, number 44, making the stop, as Harry just indicated. It goes as a loss of 5 on the play back to the 48-yard line of Baldwin Wallace.
Nobody touched him. There you see Dean John Fleischauer, Mount Union College Dean, and his wife Jan to his left. Your right as you view the screen.
Second down. 15 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace. Price in motion. New running back in there for BW. That's the man with the ball, number 23 for the first time today, Joel Steiner, 213-pound senior from Smithville High School in Orrville, Ohio. Danny Petkavich one more time in on the stop for Mount Union after about a 2-yard pickup. Third down, 13 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace. Steiner, by the way, coming in with a banged-up shoulder problem. He's one of the usual starting backs for Bob Packard's ball club, averaging 4.3 yards per crack over the course of the 85 campaign. Third down, 13 yards to go. Price, the man in motion. Graham, a little bit of pressure, now a lot of pressure. Graham going to fire into the flat, overthrows the intended receiver at the 45-yard line of Mount Union. Mike Jarrett caused all the damage for the Purple Raider defense. We're going to look at it again, Harry.
Well, Graham appears to have enough time, but Jarrett just simply beats his man and causes the problems, and Graham obviously just dumping it off to avoid the loss.
So fourth down punting situation for Baldwin Wallace is Dave Stanfield to do the booting from his own 35-yard line. Body and nor back deep. This time the kick is shanked, will hit inside the 30, roll inside the 25, and again be dead at the 23-yard line of Mount Union. 27-yard punt, no return, and that is where Mount Union will put it in play with 9:19 remaining second quarter and leading in this ball game 7-3.
Well, you have to be faithful to attend this one, and I want to tell you, if it wasn't the fact that it was such a big game, I think some people would have stayed away, but because of the impact and the importance of this game, it's been a great crowd and a very vocal crowd.
Wolf with time. Now running into problems, fires the football, complete, no, incomplete.
No, they're calling it complete, I believe.
They are at the 39-yard line. What a catch by Billy Eyer. We're going to look at that one again. Phenomenal catch.
Well, I think what they're saying here is he caught the ball initially, then when it popped loose, they already ruled it a reception because he did catch it again out of bounds. There you see Wolf directing traffic, gets good pressure there, finds Eyer with the reception there, and they're saying he caught it at that point, and then when the ball pops loose, it's simply a fumble, and he recovered it out of bounds, but the completion stands.
16-yard pass completion, first down, number 6 for the Purple Raiders. Wolf with time to ramble, fires deep for Eyer. It's going to be intercepted at the 31-yard line. To the 35, out to the 38-yard stripe. Mike Diederich playing excellent defensive ball for Mount Union, brought down by Jeff Erskine, but that's the second pass interception of the ball game for Baldwin Wallace.
I think this one sailed on Wolf, rolling to his left, pumps once, but Diederich didn't fall for it. He stayed right with the receiver, but I think the ball just kind of sailed on Scott Woolf because there wasn't anybody within striking distance anyway. And Diederich picking off the pass, that's the second interception of the game.
And only the 7th on the 1985 campaign from the arm of Scott Woolf. So the third turnover of the ball game, all belonging to Baldwin Wallace. And that's Conyers with running room. 45, Conyers 50, Conyers 45, Conyers 38-yard line of Mount Union. This young man can ramble, number 17, Lauren Conyers. Only a sophomore. Pat Brandon bringing him down. Conyers did his high school ball playing for the Brookfield Warriors up Trumbull County way. We saw him quite a few times while he was attending Brookfield High School under the head mentorship of John Del Cerrone. And he was a phenomenal ball player back then. That shows you a little bit of the talent of this sophomore from Baldwin Wallace. Big pickup, first down, 10 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. 8:30 remaining second quarter. Double wing formation. John Price moving, and I believe Baldwin Wallace might have called for the timeout. Nope, the officials did.
Well, it was the center, Mark Rebar, who was not happy with the feel of the football. I'm sure quite slick. And he called for the timeout, and the official stepped in alertly.
First down, 10 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace. Trailing in the ball game 7-3. Just over 8 minutes remaining second quarter, and both teams still with all 3 timeouts remaining. Price the man in motion. Graham fires on the slanted pattern, complete inside the 30 to Dave Miller. It goes about an 8-yard pass completion, and Ed Graham putting the ball up quite a few times thus far in the contest.
You're right, Cap. In fact, he had a string of 6 completions before that one to Miller. He's thrown it 17 times now and completed 6.
Chris Weber and Dan Petkavich making the tackle on Dave Miller, but second down, 3 yards to go for the Baldwin Wallace first down. Price in motion. Conyers running room, 25, Conyers 20, 15 down to the 13-yard line. Vic Harris saved the touchdown. Lauren Conyers with another big pickup for Baldwin Wallace.
Watch the whole right side. Conyers takes good advantage of it, good acceleration once he reaches the secondary too, and busts his way down to the 13-yard line. A fine run by Conyers, and they've found themselves a running back here. Last 2 carries, 24 yards plus 17, and on the afternoon, 42 yards in just 3 carries.
First down, 10 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace from the Mount Union 13-yard line. Price in motion. Ball carrier Conyers, same play, fights his way down to the 10-yard line. Roger Miller one of the many Purple Raider defenders to make the tackle. Chris Weber also in on the stop. A 3-yard pickup will set up second down and 7 yards to go for the Yellow Jacket first down. Important drive with 6:50 remaining in the second quarter. Baldwin Wallace down by 3. Mike Carney will split 15 to the left side. Price in motion, and Ed Graham doesn't like something, and the official says you got to put it in. You got to put it in play, and now
he thinks it's too noisy, and John Cameron calls timeout. Hard to believe that in this stadium, you know, this isn't Three Rivers or anything, but evidently the terrible Taws, as they're called, the Mont Union faithful in the end zone, are giving Graham a heck of a time.
That's the new trend, I guess, Harry.
Well, they've been backing these Purple Raiders the entire year, and they've come en masse here for this one, realizing the importance, and nothing like a crowd to shake you up.
That's a charge timeout to Baldwin Wallace.
Well, that's not going to sit too well with the BW bench. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with more action from Mont Union Stadium. There you see the score, 7-3.
A scream a minute, a nightmare of fiendish horror, a Nerorama shocker.
This certificate assures burial service without cost to anyone in the audience who dies of fright while seeing the WIVM really spooky movie.
Well, last week we saw the Cleveland Browns suffer through a crowd where they couldn't hear the signals, and eventually Bernie Kosar had to sit on a missed snap, and there you see BW bench discussing it with John Cameron, and I'm sure they have the same complaint. If we can't hear the signals, how can we run the play? But the officials are instructed in those situations to just try to ask that the offense run the play, and it'll be interesting to see what happens here. John Cameron's microphone evidently has shorted out, so we won't be able to hear him probably for the remainder of the contest. So it'll be the BW Yellow Jackets with 2nd and 7 now, and going into that terrible Taw cheering section.
Second down, 7 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace. Graham, the sophomore quarterback from Lakewood High School, with John Price in motion. Graham under pressure. Graham going to be sacked way back at the 19-yard line.
Boy, he did well to hang on to the football as Kevin Pilmer came in to do the damage. He bobbled that football when Pilmer hit him initially, but did well to cradle it and avert further problems. There you see part of that crowd that's egging those Purple Raiders on defense.
Kilmer, the man who made the sack for Mont Union, right here from Alliance. 215-pound sophomore, played for the Aviators. 3rd down, 16. That was a big play for the Purple Raider defense. From the Mont Union 19-yard line. Price in motion the other way. Graham, flat pass, incomplete at the 15-yard line.
Great play, Vic Harris. He's the one that separated Baldwin Wallace's intended receiver, Dan Richard, it looked like. There you see Graham going back. He gets good pressure. And Richard trying to make the one-hand grab, but it's Harris who gets in the way and separates him from the ball. And chalk one up to the 12th man in the Purple Raider end zone there, as it'll be Masad trying for the field goal once again into the wind.
Again, fighting the elements. This one will be a 26, make it a 36-yard attempt out of the hold of Dave Miller. 5:42 remaining first half, partially blocked. It will be way short and roll into the end zone. No good on the second field goal attempt of the first half by Wade Masad. And we will be back with the Mont Union offense, but first we're going to pause for this message.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my passion has always been to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. TV has helped MyPillow become the amazing company that it is today. So my employees and I want to thank you with some of our best prices ever. Go to MyPillow.com right now and click on TV specials. You'll get deep discounts on MyPillows, mattress toppers, sheets, and so much more. For example, you can get body pillows regular $89.99 for only $29.99 with your promo code.
On 1st and 10 for Mount Union. There you see the score. The Purple Raiders 7, Baldwin Wallace 3. 1st and 10 after the missed field goal by Wade Massad. Tony Tarantino picked up 6 as he advanced the ball up to the 26-yard line. That will set up 2nd down, 4 yards to go. And there you see some of the crowd that obviously bothered the sophomore quarterback from Baldwin Wallace, Ed Graham. 2nd down, 4 yards to go. With exactly 5 minutes remaining second quarter, and again the Mont Union defense really rising to the occasion here this afternoon. Same can be said for Baldwin Wallace as Scott Woolf on the pitch to Tarantino. Has a couple of blockers close to the 1st down, but really hammered on the far sideline. Mike Dietrich, number 19, and number 45 from the Yellow Jacket defense. Coming up to make this stop, Todd Sprunger from Orville, a junior.
There you see Tony Tarantino with the leading scorer in the OAC, 90 points.
He has 13 rushing touchdowns, make it 12 rushing touchdowns, and 3 pass receiving touchdowns this year. 15 TDs, 6 points apiece, equals the 90 points that he scored on the 1985 campaign. By far the leading scorer in the OAC. 3rd down, about a yard to go for Mount Union. Wolf to Tarantino, and he has the 1st down. Great dive play, advances it to the 32-yard line. And that is good enough for the 6th first down of the ball game for the Purple Raiders. Interesting little side note, that's also the first 3rd down conversion attempt for Mount Union.
Well, here we see Tarantino picking up the tough yardage down there. It's becoming a real mud bath, but powers ahead. Good job by the offensive line, giving Tarantino the room to ramble and picking up the 3rd rushing 1st down for the Purple Raiders.
Body splitting to the right side. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Wolf going to be pressured, not going to run with the football. 35 out of bounds on the near sideline. At about the 37-yard stripe. A pickup of 6 on the play will set up 2nd down, 6 yards to go. Scott Woolf, of course, did his high school ball playing about 10 miles away from this stadium in Beloit, the West Branch Warriors. They had a fine year this year. Jeff Welsh ran him out of bounds that time. Scott Woolf just setting all sorts of records. One of the top-ranked passers in Division III of the NCAA, and just having a phenomenal season. 2nd down, a long 4 yards to go for Mount Union. Fumbled snap back by Wolf. He does pick it up. Under pressure, he is going to be sacked way back at the 30-yard line. Another evidence of the wet and slippery conditions down on the field.
Well, Wolf has trouble with this from the very start. Did well, really, to pick it up here. As it turns out, though, he might have been better off just to fall on it because he gets chased down for the 6-yard loss.
Doug Anderson coming in at a guard spot for Mount Union. 220-pound sophomore from Fairview High School in Fairview Park. Replacing number 63, Jeff Woods. 210-pound senior from Willoughby South that went off the field limping for Coach Waple's ball club. Body to the left side, 3rd down, 12 yards to go. Erskine in motion. Wolf firing over the middle, incomplete, almost intercepted at the 48-yard line. Closest man to it, number 3, the defensive safety for Baldwin Wallace, Chuck Houck.
There you see some Purple Raider fans signaling that they are number 1. Well, if the game were to end right now, that would be true, but we still have a long way to go in this one. 3:19 remaining second quarter. 7-3 Purple Raiders on that last play. Again, Scott Woolf's having trouble controlling the football. Illegal procedure call, incidentally, went against the Purple Raiders. It was declined, but the ball again overthrown And I think Scott, with the wind behind him, has such a powerful arm that he's having trouble controlling the football.
Fourth down punting situation for the Purple Raiders. Randy Powell to do the booting from his own 15-yard line. 3 minutes, 19 seconds remaining second quarter. High snap from center. Woolf gets the spiraling kick away. It'll hit at the 40, roll inside the 35, and be downed at the 34-yard line of Baldwin Wallace.
There you see President. No, we see just a crowd shot. Let's take that back. Holy cow. Gentleman there resembled President Clifford Shields, who we hope to be talking to at halftime.
3 minutes, 8 seconds remaining second quarter. This for all the marbles in the Ohio Athletic Conference. Baldwin Wallace with the football, trailing Mount Union 7-3 with 3:08 remaining second quarter. Keep in mind, Baldwin Wallace already has expended one timeout. Graham on the slanting pattern, complete up to the 40-yard line. Dave Miller on the receiving end. Chris Weber staying right with him for the tackle. Weber having a fine defensive ball game. Number 44, as we'll look at it again, been on a number of tackles, including this one.
Graham with just a quick look-in pattern here to Miller. And they're going to use the short passes, you can tell. They have been so far, and Miller's right there to pick up a quick 6.
Weber, 190-pound junior from Stowe Walsh Jesuit High School. He and Greg Flasco went to high school together. Second down, that's Conyers again. Powerful runner up to the 43-yard line. About a 3-yard scamper will set up third down and a short 2 yards to go for the Baldwin Wallace first down. Danny Petkevich making the stop, having another excellent ball game for the Mount Union defense. Clock down to 2 minutes remaining in the first half of action. And Baldwin Wallace getting set for their 9th third down conversion attempt of the ball game. So far, 2 out of 8 in that category. Graham to Price, and he is close to the first down, but I believe Danny Petkevich one more time coming up with a big hit for the Mount Union Purple Raider defense.
Boy, Petkevich did a great job. Hit him low, lifted him into the air, and will be close to the first down. They're going to call for a measurement here. We see it again. Price, the second man through, but watch Petkevich just appear from nowhere and knock him back. Let's see where the forward progress is marked. It looks like it's going to be short.
Just a tad short of the first down. And it will set up fourth down and punting situation time for Baldwin Wallace. Danny Petkevich, by the way, number 34, the man who's been doing the defensive damage for Mount Union. 225-pound junior from Massillon Tuslaw, and Baldwin Wallace is going to go for it. 1:25 remaining here in the first half, and that shows you the confidence that Bob Parrish has in his defensive unit. Price in motion, quarterback keeper, and I do not think Graham made it.
I don't think he did either. Let's see where they spot it. They're giving him just about the same spot as where this down started, and if it's the case, the Purple Raiders are going to be in business here.
Chris Weber and Petkevich double teaming on the hit, and let's watch it again.
Well, Graham just calling the keeper here, tries the left side, but the Purple Raiders bunch it up. And boy, according to what we saw there, it didn't look like he got anything. But he was just inches short, so let's take a look. They bring the sticks in, and he is going to be short.
Couple of inches short, did not gain an inch on that one. And the gamble by Bob Parrish could backfire here late in the second quarter. Remember, Mount Union still with all 3 timeouts remaining. Minute 16 left in the half, and will win at the back of the Mount Union Purple Raiders.
There you see Ken Wable way up high, calling the plays from up there, signaling them down to offensive coordinator Don Montgomery.
First down, 10 yards to go. Billy Eyer this time the man in motion for Mount Union. Scott Woolf firing the ball, and there's that slippery footing. Eyer, the intended receiver. Incompleted pass will stop the clock with 1 minute, 12 seconds remaining first half. Ball's at the 44-yard line. We're going to look at it again.
Well, Wolf's been having trouble finding his receivers going to this end of the field, and that time it was just a matter of Eyer slipping and falling because the ball was there. Purple Raiders could get it within field goal territory here for Jim Collins because the wind, again, at their backs. He could probably boot one about 45 yards.
Vince Body split 15 to the right side. Billy Eyer, the man running toward you in motion. Dump off pattern to Tarantino, has to get a block. 40, out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. There goes a 7-yard pass completion for Tony Tarantino and set up third down and about 3 yards to go for Mount Union.
Well, here we see it again. Wolf just deciding to dump it here to Tarantino. That was designed to pick up some yardage, and it does pick up about 7 yards. Tarantino having trouble cutting upfield as he's ridden out of bounds, and that footing is getting tougher and tougher out there.
1 minute, 5 seconds remaining. First half, Mount Union leading in this ball game 7-3. And the rain continuing to be driven down here at Mount Union Stadium. Third down, 3 yards to go. Wolf to put it up. Wolf under pressure. Wolf dumps it off near side to Jeff Erskine. First down, 30, 28-yard line. Heads up play by quarterback Scott Woolf. He wanted to go initially to Tony Tarantino, but he was covered on the far side. Wolf turned around and hit Erskine for the first down.
Scott Woolf does this very well. He did fake there, but watch him just roll and then find Erskine at the other side. The defense has been drawn toward Tarantino's side and then gets away to throw to Erskine, who makes the big catch and is ridden out of bounds. 56 seconds now remaining in the first half. Purple Raiders on the move.
First down, 10 yards to go. Still with all 3 timeouts remaining. Mount Union is. That is Erskine in motion as Wolf going to go the other side this time to Jeff Peshek, and Peshek takes 2 pops, bust free inside the 25, down to the 23-yard line. And timeout immediately called by Scott Woolf. That will stop the clock with 45 seconds remaining second quarter.
Well, again, Wolf with misdirection. Looks like he's looking right. You'd think he's broadcasting there, except now he turns to throw to Peshek. And watch Peshek break 2 tackles here. There's 1, there's 2, and you'd think he's down there, but makes a nice run to pick up the 4 yards that he did pick up on that pass reception.
He played in the tough Still Valley Conference for Austintown Fitch High School down at Youngstown Warren Way.
Jeff Peshek played center for the Purple Raiders in 1983, as you see in that graphic. And I want to tell you, that's really something. There have been a number of players for the Purple Raiders that have switched positions from what they were in high school. And you have to give a lot of credit to that coaching staff, which has noticed that and been able to make that adjustment, spotting the talent and putting them in the position that they think can help the Purple Raiders most. And it's been most effective on this Purple Raider squad. Peshek being an example as a center, now a running back and a fine pass receiver.
45 seconds remaining second quarter, second down, 5 yards to go for Mount Union. And the Purple Raiders would love nothing more than to go into the locker room with a little more than that 7-point total on the board. They'll send Vince Body split to the right side. Billy Eyer, the man in motion. Wolf firing to Body, has it, gets inside the 20, close to the first down at the 18-yard line. And let's see, timeout again called by Mount Union. That'll stop the clock with 33 seconds remaining. Jeff Welsh and Kurt Bodeker coming up to make the stop. And let's see, we're going to have a measurement on this one. It's very close to the necessary yardage for the first down. Regardless, Kenny Wable's ball club expending their second timeout here in the second quarter, and that rain really driving right now. Could almost say that Jim Collins in field goal range here, especially with that wind behind him.
Well, the wind certainly would be behind him, but of course the field condition, I don't know how that would work for or against him. probably work against him. You know, mentioning the fact that there are some people out of position from when they were in high school, Bill Eyer is one example. As he was a defensive back, he's now a wide receiver. Joe Knoll, a running back in high school, now a wide receiver. Vince Body was a defensive back and now a wide receiver, and you can name some more. Vic Harris, now a defensive back, he was a wide receiver in high school. Dan Petkavage was a running back in high school, now an inside linebacker. Kevin Pilmer, a defensive tackle, now an inside linebacker. Jeff Pesek, we just mentioned, and Greg Flasco was a wide receiver, now a cornerback. So, you know, it's not just one or two players, but several players that played a different position in high school, now playing another one for the Mount Union Purple Raiders.
Third down, 1 yard, going for the bomb in the end zone. Body cannot hold on to it. One step in the end zone, he was really popped at the goal line by number 40, the defensive back for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, Jerry Sponsutter. Look at it again, Harry.
Well, here we see Wolf dropping back, and he does have a receiver in the end zone. It looked like Body. And the ball hangs up there. A great defensive effort by the Yellow Jackets, separating Body from the football. Purple Raiders are going to take that last time out. 4th and 1, 27 seconds left. And when it first appeared Jim Collins was going to come in to kick a field goal, now suddenly several players walking off the field, including Collins.
Including Jimmy Collins. So 4th and a yard from the 19-yard line, and Ken Wable's ball club going to go for it. They did expend their last timeout. Still with 27 seconds remaining, a chance to pick up a couple of plays at least before having to resort to the field goal attempt.
Well, I think Ken's philosophy here probably is it is extremely muddy down where the Purple Raiders have the football, and it would be a really tough attempt for Collins. So playing the percentages, they'll try to get the first down here.
Body split to the left side. Two running backs behind Scott Woolf. And some movement along the line.
Play is whistled dead, flags are down.
It's going to be procedure against the Raiders.
That's a big penalty against Mount Union. That will definitely send Jim Collins and the crew on. And will move the ball back to the 24-yard line of Baldwin Wallace and set up the equivalent of about a 41-yard field goal attempt by Jim Collins.
Well, without the wind, you'd think it'd be extremely tough, but let's see what Jim Collins can do here from this distance.
Still 4th down. Collins will attempt a 41-yard field goal to seal Will Bowl.
Collins, field goal attempt 3 out of 4 thus far in the 1985 campaign. Out of the hold of number 23, Brian Kucha. Brian Kusia, number 23, doing the holding. Collins doing the extra point, or the field goal attempt. The ball is in the air. The kick is no good, off to the left side.
Boy, it had the distance, Cap, but drifted to the left.
So that will stop the Mount Union attempt to make it at least a 10-3 score before halftime, and Baldwin Wallace with 22 seconds remaining in the first half will have it 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line. Probable time for Bob Parrish to simply sit on the ball and wind down the clock. Let the air out of the ball more or less. See what they do. Gotta give the Conyers really wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. That should be the last play of quarter number 2.
Ball carrier was Warren Conyers.
Clock winding down inside 10 seconds as you look at the Baldwin Wallace offense, and that will be the last play of this first half of action. 1985 title contest of the Ohio Athletic Conference. The score at halftime, the Mount Union Purple Raiders 7, Baldwin Wallace 3, and we will be back with halftime information, statistics, and more for you. But first, we're going to pause for this message.
Hi, I'm Dean Marini.
And I'm Jen Evans.
And I'm Jamie, better known as Countess Jamie.
And this is Count Bill. We want to remind you to tune in every week for the WIVN Really Spooky Movie. You get Jen's recipes, Count Bill's movies, and of course you get to look at a fabulous picture of Countess Jamie. So join us every week.
What is the purpose of a college education? For most young people, college today is an experience of personal development, both academic and social, and an entry into the professional world. College completes the transition from adolescence to maturity. Maturity assumes one's ability to earn a living, but it means more. College is an experience not just of vocational training, but of personal and professional growth. Graduates are prepared for economic self-sufficiency not only through their choice of careers, but by the development of self-confidence, sound character, critical judgment, and habits they will carry for the rest of their lives. As a residential college of 1,000 students and 100 faculty and staff, Mount Union has a tradition of using its size to advantage. We are a community of people who know one another as individuals in academic, social, athletic, and cultural roles. Individuals are not just lost in a crowd, and friendships between students as well as between students and faculty develop naturally. Our tradition of personalized higher education is expressed through an environment of varied experiences with more opportunities for learning, enrichment, and enjoyment than any one person can take in. Discover at Mount Union College an academic tradition sensitive to excellence in the disciplines and concerned with the total development of the individual. Our academic commitment has brought the college today to identify campus-wide curricular themes which heighten analytic, compositional, and rhetorical skills while developing the moral strength needed for the complexities of modern life. Your aspirations require extended, personal communications between senior faculty and students. Our goals assume individualized teaching for the benefit of the learner. We expect student diversity and engage our students through means most effective for them. Mount Union College is an institution dedicated to undergraduate education, comprised of faculty and staff who share a common purpose: to prepare you for what lies ahead. Since 1846, Mount Union College has provided education on its northeastern Ohio campus. Through sound planning, careful management, and the support of alumni and other friends, the college has constructed and maintained a superb physical plant, strong library and media resources, and an array of technical and scientific equipment. Our campus is debt-free, with strong endowment support and a budget in balance for 3 decades. Sound financial planning and concern for educational opportunity enable the college to provide a Mount Union education at a competitive cost. We can also supplement family and student contributions with a variety of need and merit-based scholarships. Our commitment to help all qualified people makes the Mount Union Scholarship and Financial Aid Program a necessary part of our mission. Cooperative education opportunities mix paid employment with progress toward the degree, extending the options for student financial planning as well as career placement. Social and cultural life are vital parts of the undergraduate experience. Lifelong friendships and commitments are often formed during the college years. Mount Union has a tradition of fostering personal relationships. Social life includes active national sororities and fraternities, as well as service and pre-professional organizations, college-sponsored recreation, and entertainment. The campus is the site of hundreds of popular events each year in music, drama, film, and art. Student-initiated events are highlighted by dances, concerts, and guest speakers. Men's and women's athletics occur in a full spectrum of intercollegiate and intramural sports. Extensive indoor and outdoor facilities make athletics a year-round aspect of college life. Our athletes reach national levels of competition and recognition annually, including championships and NCAA Division III All-American status. The spirit of our intercollegiate athletics is one of participation and sportsmanship in the traditional spirit of the amateur, who competes not for pay or profit, but for growth, challenge, fellowship, and victory. At commencement each spring, our students leave us for residence in the world outside the college. One measure of our success is their success and their achievements in business and other professions. The long-standing emphasis on immediate hands-on learning experience, internships, and placement programs give our graduates an irreplaceable advantage in the workplace. Ultimately, our reputation is the reputation of our graduates. Of this we speak with pride. What does Mount Union College seek to accomplish? Simply this: an undergraduate education for our students which benefits them as they live it and prepares them for a life of service to others and satisfaction for themselves. This is the tradition you discover at Mount Union College. And although commencement signals a change, it begins a lifetime of homecoming to the college where visions were formed and memories are kept.
With me at halftime is the interim president of Mount Union College, Clifford D. Shields. And Cliff, first your impressions of the first half. It's been quite a defensive struggle.
Yes, exactly what we expected from two fine ball clubs, and looks like we're going to play the game in the second half today. So it looks great, and we're ready for it.
Well, Cliff, one of the things that's been exciting about Mount Union's campus, at least this fall semester, is the kickoff of the Foundation for Tomorrow campaign, a $15.5 million effort, supposedly over 3 years. And it's an endowment campaign, which is something a little bit different than Mount Union's tried. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, well, this is an effort we've been planning for about a year and a half. The trustees, about a year and a half ago, made the decision that if Mount Union is going to maintain its excellence in the next 20, 25 years, we need to provide the funds that will provide the income to take the pressure off the budget from operating basis. So we're into a campaign to raise $15.5 million, of which about $12 million will be in endowment funds, the income which we can use then to meet some of the operating needs for scholarship, for faculty development needs, and for operating needs of the college.
Well, in terms of delineating some of that money, I know renovation is part of it and the annual fund and so forth. You want to tell us a little bit about the annual fund challenge, which is a part of that campaign?
Yes, as a part of our overall $15.5 million is an effort to increase our alumni giving from about $300,000 a year to $500,000 a year. And to assist us in that effort, the Stark County Foundation has given us a challenge grant of $100,000, wherein they will match 1-for-1 every increased dollar or new dollar that we will raise over the next 2 years. And we're very pleased that the Stark County Foundation would give us this challenge.
What are some of the other needs? I know you alluded to them, but in terms of renovation, the scholarships and so forth, there are really 3 or 4 basic components to this campaign.
Right, the components, other than the endowment part, which I referred to, which would be primarily for faculty development, for scholarship, for chairs in the various departments. But we also have needs in, as you say, renovation. We've got some work to do in Temkin. The expansion of the women's sports program causes us to look for some renovation there to better facilitate that. Right here in the stadium, we got an outdoor track that we need to do some work on. Our only older facility on the campus that we haven't renovated since World War II is Wilson Science Hall. And we, as a part of this campaign, we want to do a major renovation to bring it up to the standards of the Hood-Tollerton facility, which is next door to it.
You know, one of the unique features of this campaign, from what I understand, is the fact that you're going to try to reach each alumnus individually, which is kind of different as far as Mount Union campaigns are concerned.
That's right. Mount has not done this in recent years, and not exactly strictly from the standpoint of what we're trying to do in this campaign, but what we want to occur out of this campaign is a chance to relate and bring all alumni back into active participation or active acquaintance with the college, right?
Okay, thank you very much, Cliff Shields. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I think, I don't know if it's warmer up here or warmer in the stands, but try to keep warm anyway for the second half.
Back to the stands with all the fans. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Jim Collins will kick off to open up the second half here at Mount Union Stadium. 7-3 the score. This game for the #1 spot in the Ohio Athletic Conference for the 1985 campaign. And the two deep men standing at about their own 5-yard line for Baldwin Wallace, Vince Funeri, number 2, and number 25, Tim Drabeck. Collins kickoff, high booming kick. That Fugari will take at his own 5-yard line to the 15, to the 20, has a little bit of running room, 25, up to the 28-yard stretch. So that's where Baldwin Wallace will put it in play. First down, 10 yards to go. And quickly, let's go through the scoring in the first half. Mount Union received the opening kickoff, marched 67 yards in 9 plays. Took them 2 minutes, 56 minutes to move those 67 yards. And Billy Eyer on the receiving end of a 15-yard pass from quarterback Scott Woolf. Collins converted to make it 7-0. Baldwin Wallace coming back with 1:26 remaining in the first quarter. Masad with a 26-yard field goal. Running room, a little bit of running room for number 15, new quarterback Eric Young into the ball game. He's only a freshman from New Philadelphia, Tuscarora Central Catholic High School. A 6-yard pickup on the play, Roger Miller and Pat Brandon from the defensive right side for Ken Wavell's ball club making the stop. That will set up second down, about 4 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace. Mike Carney will split to the left side, one running back behind the new quarterback, Eric Young. That is Conyers, and Conyers stood up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. The entire middle of that defensive unit for Mount Union coming up to meet the running back for Baldwin Wallace.
Look at it again as Conyers gets the ball. He got it quite a bit in the first half. In fact, he gained 46 yards and 6 carries. And there he stopped by that Purple Raider defensive line, which has been called upon time and again so far in this contest. And they've responded each time.
Third down, 3 yards to go, a long 3 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace. Young flips the ball to Price, trying to turn the corner. He is going to be hit, breaks the tackles, and gets very close to the necessary yardage for the first down. No, they say that he stepped out of bounds at the 27-yard line, so it'll leave him about 2 yards shy and set up fourth down punting situation for the Yellow Jackets.
This is an interesting quarterback change by Bob Packard of BW. It is obvious that Young can run the ball a little bit better than Graham, and it's making Mount Union adjust on defense. So they're having to play a different defensive game in the second half than they did in the first half.
Stanfield to do the booting at his own 22-yard line. Body, Knoll back deep, line drive kick. Fair catch indicated and grabbed by Vince Body at the Mount Union 35-yard line. So that's where the Purple Raiders will put it in play, first down, 10 yards to go. 7-3 the score. We played a minute and a half into the third quarter. This is, as Harry indicated in our pregame chat, this is the 24th meeting between these two ball clubs. Mount Union trailing in the contest series to Baldwin Wallace, 18 games to 5. In fact, the last Mount Union victory was way back in 1950 by a 20-7 score. First down, 10 yards to go. Both teams 6-0 in the conference. Oh boy, really hammered at the line of scrimmage is Tony Tarantino. Stacy Brandt, number 75, 220-pound junior defensive tackle from East Palestine, making the stop. That will set up second down. 10 yards to go for Mount Union. Kenny Wabel has faced Baldwin Wallace. This is the 12th time, and he's 0-11 in this contest. And to get victory number 1 here this afternoon certainly would be a big, big win for Mount Union. Second down, 10 yards to go. Scott Woolf going to fire the football, complete across the 45, up to the 47-yard line. Good enough for a 12-yard completion and a first down for the Purple Raiders.
That was Billy Eyer again on the reception. And Eyer has become a favorite target of Wolf. in the last couple of games. Woolf again rolling opposite from his throwing arm, gets a little bit of pressure and throws it across the field. Picked off there by Eyer, and he's really down there. There was really not a necessity to be pounced on, but he did make the effort to get up, and I think that's the reason no flag was thrown.
First down, 10 yards to go from their own 47-yard line. Scotty Woolf over the middle, slant-in pattern complete to Eyer, inside the 45, down to the 42-yard line. That is very close to a 10-yard completion. And if so, that will be another first down for the Purple Raiders. They're going to, in fact, it's so close, nope, they're going to give it to them. Mount Union recording their 9th first down of the ball game.
There you see some cold Mount Union College cheerleaders. Valiant effort for them to be out there. And I'll tell you, the crowd, badge of honor deserving going to them because it is really cold and windy here.
First down, 10 yards to go from the 42-yard line. Scott Woolf with protection fires into the flat, incomplete. Vince Body, the intended receiver at the 35-yard line, but number 19, Mike Dieterich, really slammed into Vince Body as soon as the ball approached the receiver, and that will go as an incompleted pass. Mount Union, of course, hoping that what occurs here at the beginning of the second half is the same thing that happened at the beginning of the ball game when Mount Union in their first possession marched all the way in for their only touchdown of the ball game. Right now, 11:38 remaining third quarter. Mount Union faced with second down, 10 yards to go from the Baldwin Wallace 42-yard line. And the wind continuing to really whip around here at Mount Union Stadium. Wolf fires, complete at the 30 to Vince Body. See where they give him forward progress. They're going to spot it at the 31-yard line. That will be good enough for the 10th first down of the ball game for the Purple Raiders.
Well, Scott Woolf has a little trouble here with Tony Tarantino, who was slow getting out of the blocks, but once he did, he threw a nice block. And Scott Woolf then finds Vince Body, who comes back nicely for the football. Almost loses the first down, though, as he slipped trying to make the cut. But it's good enough for that 10th first down for the Purple Raiders. You know, we should mention the fact that, yes, this is an OAC championship game just about, but Mount Union has to go to Muskingum next week, and Baldwin Wallace has to go to Wittenberg. So it's really not over yet, even though the importance of this one is it's really big for Mount Union because they can capture a share of the title anyway with a victory here.
Scott Woolf fires, incomplete, intended for Billy Eyer at the 18-yard line. Defensive left side cornerback Chuck Houck providing the pass defensive coverage. That will set up a 2nd and 10 situation at the 31-yard line for Mount Union, at the Baldwin Wallace 31-yard line.
Scott Woolf has now put it up 30 times. He's completed about 13. I say about because the ink is running here, and I think we've got about 13 completions. There are 2 interceptions so far, and to throw the ball 30 times in this kind of weather, you've got to have great confidence in your quarterback, and I think that confidence is well placed in Scott Woolf.
Eyer, the man in motion. Wolf under pressure. Complete to Billy Eyer at the 20-yard line, and that time Scott Woolf threading the needle. 4 defenders around Billy Eyer, and Scott Woolf laid it right in for an 11-yard pickup and a first down.
I'm not sure how Woolf got away from the rush. I mean, there was someone on top of him, and it's tough to pick up the numbers given the mud bath. He pumps there, and that is just enough to get the pass away, and Eyer makes a fine reception.
Going out of bounds, stops the clock with 10 minutes, 46 seconds remaining third quarter. First down, 10 yards to go for Mount Union from the Baldwin Wallace 20-yard line. Body to the left side. Billy Eyer will flank to the near side. Wolf going to be pressured, fires to the dump-off man, Tarantino 15, down to the 10-yard line. Very close to another first down for the Purple Raiders, and Scott Woolf a little slow getting to his feet, back at the 30, but no damage done. A 10-yard pass completion, we'll look at it one more time.
Well, again, Woolf rolling left, and doesn't find anybody, but look at Tarantino. He's supposed to be blocking, suddenly turns just in time as Woolf got some heat there from the BW defense, and then Tarantino does a good job of picking up that first down.
First down, goal to go at the 10-yard line. They cannot pick up another first down prior to getting into the end zone. But you believe you me, this is one of the biggest series of the year as far as the whole conference is concerned. Woolf firing. Ooh, petted down at the goal line. Number 97 sticking up the hand, Jeff Welch. Intended receiver on the play, I believe, was Bill Eyer.
Yeah, Woolf has time here as he rolls away from the pressure, but then has a notion to run the ball and then thought he saw Eyer or Erskine, I'm not sure which, but a big paw put up there by Welsh knocks it away.
Second down, 10 yards to go as you look at some very impressive statistics on Scott Woolf.
You know, the fact that he's been here just 2 years as a starting quarterback and is setting all kinds of career records is quite impressive.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Eyer in motion. Ball carrier Tarantino fights his way down to the 5-yard line. 5-yard pickup for Tony Tarantino. That will set up third down. In fact, let's change that. That was Jeff Peshek, the ball carrier. So Peshek with a 5-yard gallop. Third down, 5 yards to go for the Mount Union touchdown. Clock continuing to move here at Mount Union Stadium. 9 minutes, 30 seconds remaining third quarter. Body will split to the left side. Eyer slotted left side. 2 running backs behind Scott Woolf. Woolf rambling. Woolf under pressure. Woolf into the end zone for the touchdown. Jeff Erskine on the receiving end. And that is a big score for Mount Union. It comes with 9:09 remaining in the third quarter. And the Purple Raiders lead 13-3.
Woolf again rolling right. They're not sure. Is he going to run the ball or is he going to throw the ball? He has a notion to run again, but now he finds Erskine, fires a bullet, a great camera angle there as Erskine pulls in the pass for the touchdown and gives the Purple Raiders a 10-point lead. It'll be Jim Collins trying to make it 11.
Ball is down, kick is in the air, and the kick is good. So with 9:09 remaining third quarter in the score, Mount Union 14, Baldwin Wallace 3. Let's pause for this message.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. Attention e-cigarette users. The use of e-cigarette vaping devices such as Juul has been linked to serious health effects, especially in teens and young adults. If you or your child used a vaping device and suffered lung damage, seizures, nicotine poisoning, addiction, or any other serious health problem, you may be entitled to financial compensation.
Call 1-800-498-0115. That's 1-800-498-0115.
That extra point by Jim Collins gives him 41 on the season. It ties an Ohio Athletic Conference record for extra points, which is held by Jim Render of Wittenberg University. In 1963, he had 41 extra points, and now Jim Collins is tied in the OAC record book. The next one will give him the season record.
14-3 the score as Jim Collins will get set to kick off for Mount Union. There you see the graphic indicating what Harry Pate has just commented on. And here's the kickoff by Collins. It'll be taken by Funeri at the 5 to the 10, 15, 20. He has a little bit of a sleeve. Gets up across the 30 to the 33-yard line. 27-yard return by Vince Funeri, and that is where Baldwin Wallace will put it in play. First down, 10 yards to go. But trailing in this ball game now, 14-3. Well, Ed Graham coming back in at the quarterback spot for Baldwin Wallace. Eric Young was at the QB spot to open up the second half. The sophomore quarterback back in there for Bob Packard's ball club. Fires into the flat, has a man wide open to the 40, to the 45, and out of bounds on the far sideline. Number 47, Jim Bohr on the receiving end. And Greg Flasco, the left side cornerback for Mont Union, coming up to make the stop. But not before about a 14-yard pickup. And for Baldwin Wallace, first down-wise, they're 7th of the ball game.
There you see Scott Woolf, Don Montgomery talking things over. Montgomery, the offensive coordinator for the Purple Raiders.
38-game regular season conference winning streak on the line for BW. Price in motion. Conyers the ball carrier. Almost broke to the outside, but good defensive effort by Roger Miller will bring him down after about a 4-yard pickup up to the 49-yard line. That'll bring up second down, 6 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace. Clock continuing to move, 8:25 remaining third quarter. Again, Price the man in motion. Ball carrier again, Conyers, 45, down to the 42-yard line. Sophomore from Brookfield High School really having quite a ball game. Chris Weber making the stop for the Purple Raider defense.
Well, here we see an example of Conyers' power running as he gets through the initial part of the defense of the Purple Raiders and then just bursts down to the 41-yard line. Conyers showing us a lot here, 59 yards now in 9 carries.
Wall at the 41-yard line of Mont Union. Graham into the flat area. Pass incomplete at the 38-yard line. Number 34, Dan Richard, the intended receiver. That incompletion will stop the clock with 7 minutes, 42 seconds remaining third quarter and set up a second down in a 10 situation for Baldwin Wallace.
There you see Dan Petcavage, leading tackler with 58.
One back behind quarterback Graham. Price the man in motion. Graham fires down and out, pattern complete at the 35-yard line to Dave Miller. Greg Flasco pushing him down at that point. We'll look at it again on the 7-yard pass completion.
Miller does a great job. We see now why he's all conference and all everything. That ball was underthrown down around his ankles and Miller picked it off.
Baldwin Wallace, 2 for 10 and third down conversion attempts in the ball game. Boy, you can hear the crowd here at Mont Union Stadium. Third down, along 3 yards to go. Price in motion. Graham. Fires over the middle, has the first down inside the 30 to the 27.
Listen to this important message. If you owe money to the IRS, you will want to hear this. Penalties and interest compound daily on your back taxes, putting you under a mountain of debt. Tax 10,000 has years of experience connecting people with tax resolution specialists. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, they will handle all the necessary forms, and if you qualify, you may end up saving thousands of dollars. Call Tax 10,000 at 800-733-4905.
Dave Miller with 5 catches now for Baldwin Wallace, and Graham is finding him as a favorite target here.
Conyers stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. John Heather making initial contact for the Mont Union Purple Raider defense. Chris Weber coming up to help him out along with number 58 as we'll look at it again.
Now Heather stacks things up and Conyers has nowhere to go.
Mike Jarrett, the third man in on the stop of Conyers. A loss of about a half yard on the play. Second down, a long 10 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. 6:05 remaining third quarter. Graham into the flat, the Price has a blocker, 25, 20, out of bounds, close to the first down at the 19-yard line. Pat Brendan knocking him out.
Well, watch Graham here as he finds Price. Nothing too tricky. It's almost a lateral, but I guess he did move forward when he received it. It'll go as a completion, and Price does a good job of avoiding the tackle there, but Brandon catches up to him, and it'll be 3rd and short now.
3rd down, less than a yard to go from the 19-yard line of Mount Union. Price in motion. Graham will keep the football. He will not pick up the 1st down. Couldn't get the traction going. They're going to bring him down maybe for a half-yard loss, and Graham shaken up on the play and a flag on the play.
Now wait, let's take a look on the replay. Graham with a good fake inside, rolls left. Brandon's there to wrap him up. And now live action, it looks like it's going to be a personal foul going against the Purple Raiders.
Either personal foul or unsportsmanlike conduct, whatever, it's a dead ball foul.
And Graham is in trouble in terms of an injury, it looks like. That'll take it if it is a personal foul, half the distance to the goal, and set the Yellow Jackets on the 10-yard line.
Somebody said something that they shouldn't have while Graham was on the ground. John Cochran heard it and the flag went up. 1st down, it will be goal to go when play is resumed as Graham, under his own power, comes to the near sideline. First down, goal to go for Baldwin Wallace. Trailing 14-3. Number 15, the new quarterback, Eric Young, the 170-pound freshman. Young fires incomplete, intended for Mike Carney at the 2-yard line. Neil Kime on the defensive end of it for Mount Union. 2nd down, 10 yards to go for the TD. Mention the fact that Young, a freshman, New Philadelphia, Tuscarora Central Catholic High School. Carney will split 5 to the left side. Miller about 15 to the right side. Young going to ramble for maybe 2 yards. Might have got down to the 7, but that was it. That hole that appeared to Graham quickly closing up. In fact, they're going to spot him down, his knee down at the 10-yard line. So he, in essence, did not pick up a yard on the play, and that will set up 3rd down and 10 yards to go for the Baldwin Wallace touchdown. 5:14 remaining 3rd quarter. Baldwin Wallace trailing 14-3. Price in motion. Young gonna be sacked. Oh, baby. Somebody came shooting through there. Danny Petkavich, and Young is down on the ground.
Boy, I think it was Petkavich, although it was tough to tell. He just came flying through. There he is. It was Dan Petkavich. Made the big 3rd down play. Wow.
5-yard sack on the play as the freshman quarterback comes over to the near sideline. 4:11 of the clock moving, and decision time for Bob Packard.
They're going to go for it. They've sent Young back into the game.
4th down, 15 yards to go for the touchdown. 2 men split to the left side. Young under pressure. Fires into the end zone, intercepted. 15, 20, 30, has a blocker to the 40. Cuts back to the 50, 42-yard line, 37-yard line of Baldwin Wallace. Greg Flasco with a big play for the Mount Union defense. Look at that Raider sideline on the far side. Bench going crazy.
You know, when he first picked it off, you thought, why didn't he bat it down? But then it turned out even better. Look at this. Great pressure there. Young throws it up for grabs. Flasco's there to pick it off, and, you know, he could have batted it down and been satisfied with the ball at about the 15, but what a return by Flasco. And he picks up a wall of blockers. It was just one man between him and the goal line, and fortunately for the Yellow Jackets, that one man caught him.
Number 50 preventing the TD, John Rebar, the center for Baldwin Wallace. 62-yard interception return by Flasco. Tarantino on first down picks up about 5 inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. Riemann Schneider making the stop, second down. Let's give him 4 and call it 2nd and 6 for Mount Union, leading 14-3 with exactly 3 minutes remaining third quarter. Number 25, Zamrock. Pickup of about 2 down to the 31-yard line. And now Mount Union going to just try to keep the ball on the ground, if at all possible, with an 11-point lead. Tailing moments of the third quarter. You go back 1 year ago, Harry Peterson, you come up with a similar situation, but with unfortunate results for Mount Union.
Well, that's right. Baldwin Wallace won the ball game 15-14. And Mount Union stuck on that 14, wants to get off it, I'm sure. They don't want to be faced with that heartbreaker again.
Pitch to Tarantino, turns the corner, and I believe he picks up the first down at about the 26-yard line. Depends on where they spot him out of bounds.
There you see Bob Packard. You know, Bob Packard pretty much stays the way Tom Landry does on the sidelines. You really can't tell whether they're winning or losing because he maintains his same composure regardless.
Tarantino did pick up the necessary yardage, and it'll be first down, 10 yards to go from the 27-yard line of Baldwin Wallace.
12 first downs now by the Purple Raiders, 8 in the passing column. 4 via the run, but now with an 11-point lead. There you see, total offense, 418.4 yards per game. Number 1 in the conference, those Mount Union Purple Raiders. And they've done a pretty fine job here. 170 yards passing so far by the Purple Raiders and 70 yards on the ground.
Billy Eyer flanked to the near side. Wolf will put it up. Fires into the flat to Tarantino. Picks up a couple and hammered at the 23-yard line. Do not count Baldwin Wallace out of this one, as evidenced by their 38 consecutive wins. That time a 4-yard pickup on the pass completion.
Well, Wolf has Tarantino in mind the entire time here. And he gets out there, slides out there, and watches the hit. Ouch. Takes a lot to drive Tarantino back, but he got driven back on that particular reception.
Tom Meyernick leading the charge for the Yellow Jacket defense, number 37, the left inside linebacker. Second down, 6 yards to go for Mount Union, 1:35 remaining third quarter. Wolf under pressure. Intended for Eyer, might have been just to get rid of the football. Even if Eyer catches that, he's out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 1:22 remaining in the third quarter. And set up a third down, 7-yard to go situation for the Purple Raiders.
You mentioned the fact, don't count Baldwin Wallace out, and that is so true. If there's any team that could come back in this mire and muck with a 14-3 deficit, it would be Baldwin Wallace.
Vince Body will split to the left side. Wolf looking. Scott Woolf over the middle, incomplete. Almost picked off at the 15-yard line by number 97, Jeff Welsh. Billy Eyer, the intended receiver, and now decision time for Ken Wayward.
Well, Wolf has the time here, and Eyer was well covered across the middle. There's even a post there to cover him.
Yeah, Jimmy Collins in to attempt the field goal, a 40-yard variety. Number 23 doing the holding, Brian Cusia. Ball is down, kick is in the air. The kick is again no good off to the left side. So the Baldwin Wallace defense does hold, and the offense will take over with 1:11 remaining third quarter. Still trailing Mount Union by a score of 14-3. Harry?
Well, the Purple Raider offense stalled there, but they chewed up some much-needed time on that clock as they hold that 11-point lead. And now the defense, which has done so well so often, but you know, that defense has been on the field an awful lot in this game. And Baldwin Wallace's offensive line has a way of wearing you down, so let's see if they can continue.
Freshman quarterback Eric Young on the bootleg. Finds some running room across the 30 up to the 33. Needs about 1 more yard to pick up the first down. Roger Miller from defensive right end spot. Making the stop for Mount Union. Second down, 1 yard to go for the Baldwin Wallace first down. Don't forget, in the fourth quarter, Baldwin Wallace will have the win advantage, which has been a big factor in this ball game. Second down, 1 yard to go. Oh, baby, Danny Petkavich one more time, hammering the ball carrier for Baldwin Wallace. I don't know if that was Price or Conyers, but he was level for about a yard loss on the play.
There we see it. And Petkavich comes right through the offensive line and puts the hit on for the 1 yard loss.
Third down, a long 2 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace. No, they will not get it off. There is the whistle indicating the end of the third quarter. So after 3 from Mount Union Stadium in Alliance, Ohio, the score, Mount Union 14, Baldwin Wallace 3. We'll be back with the fourth quarter of today's ball game. But first, we're going to pause for this message.
Things that used to be big and bulky now fit in your pocket. Even your hose. From the makers of the #1 expandable hose in the world comes another amazing pocket hose, the Silver Bullet. Just turn on the water and the Silver Bullet inflates from pocket size to super size. Then turn off the water and it shrinks back down to a super light pocket hose. It's putting itself away. No flipping and whipping to clear the kinks. The Silver Bullet will never kink. It easily maneuvers around the garden without crushing your plants. And the Silver Bullet has no lead. Get the super light 25-foot pocket hose Silver Bullet today for only $19.99. You'll also get the Turbo Shot jet nozzle free. Order now and you can double your order. Just pay a separate fee. Come on, dump the heavy old hose and get the Bullet.
Call 1-800-376-8701. Call or visit silverbullethose.com. So call 1-800-376-8701. Order now.
At Mount Union Stadium, 3rd and 2 for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. They trail in the game 14-3 as you see on the screen. And we're at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and what a great fourth quarter it should be, Cap.
Third down, 2 yards to go. Young, the freshman quarterback, had a little trouble with the snapback, throws it into the flat. Is it complete? If it is, it's a first down for Baldwin Wallace. It is at the 35-yard line. It's getting to the point where it's tough to tell the numbers from our viewpoint, folks. Number 83, Dave Miller, the receiver. Chris Weber and Greg Flasco double teaming on knocking him out of bounds. Both, by the way, from Stowe Walsh Jesuit High School. First down, 10 yards to go. Pitch to Conyers for maybe 3. Chris Weber making the stop, and give plenty of credit to number 66, Jeff Mayfield, 210-pound senior defensive end from Canal Fulton. We're breaking up the interference. About a 2-yard pickup for Conyers. Second down, 8 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets.
Picking up 2 yards on the play, brings up second down at 8. The ball's at the 37.
Price in motion. Young, pass over the middle, complete at the 44-yard line.
Now here we see it again as Peyton appears to be on the receiving end of this one.
It's the first time that Tony Payton's been involved in a pass play. He's from Cambridge, only a sophomore. A 6-yard pickup on the play, 3rd down, 2 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace. Eric Young, the quarterback. Flip to Conyers, has blockers, breaks it open, 50, 40, out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Boy, he's a dangerous runner, and that time he almost popped it the entire way. Vic Harris making the touchdown saving tackle for Mount Union.
Well, Young made the Purple Raiders commit here, and once the pitch went to Conyers, there was a nice seam up the left side, and there you saw Conyers taking the ball. He now has 78 yards and 13 carries. He's enjoying one of the finest running days of any ball player against this Purple Raider defense this season.
1st down, 10 yards to go. Richards, make that Jim Barwell slot to the right side. Flip to Conyers, flag on the play, turns the corner down to the 30-yard line.
It looked like holding on the Yellow Jackets, and that's merely a guess on my part, because how you can call holding in this, I don't know. But to spring Conyers the way it did, I think it is going to go. There you see the Purple Raider cheerleaders. Well, it turns out it was not holding, but clipping, and that's a little bit easier to see.
Andy Pentecost knocking Conyers out of bounds, but that clip is going to nullify about an 8-yard pickup. And it will move the ball back into Baldwin Wallace territory at the Yellow Jacket 46-yard line. Bad break for BW. It comes with 13:23 remaining in the 4th quarter. And instead of 2nd and about 3 yards to go, it's going to be 1st down and 25 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace.
Boy, that one hurt, that's for sure, as far as the Yellow Jackets are concerned. But they've moved the ball well on this drive.
Dave Miller will flank to the near side. Draw play, Conyers, running room 50, 45, 40, 35, down to the 34-yard line. He's only a sophomore, folks. Victor Harris preventing another touchdown along with Dan Petcavage.
Well, the hole opens up and Conyers takes advantage of it. He's got now 98 yards on the ground against Mount Union. And the Purple Raiders were definitely geared for the pass. That sets up 2nd and 5. They got most of it back.
This is a key drive for Baldwin Wallace. They have to put some points on the board. 12:40 remaining 4th quarter. Young going to get nothing. Just treacherous footing. The freshman goes down right at the line of scrimmage in the grasp of defensive right end Roger Miller. 3rd down, 5 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. And in that category, Baldwin Wallace 5 for 14 throughout the course of the contest. I'll send Dave Miller to the near side. Price, the man in motion. Young, the flat pass. Oh, had Price wide open and overthrew him. Providing the pressure, Jeff Mayfield from his defensive left end spot for Mount Union.
Young had the time here, and although the Purple Raiders did break through, he just lobs it out of the reach of the receiver. And now this comes at a very crucial time for Baldwin Wallace. 4th down and 5. Ball at about the 34-yard line, 11:59 left. This is a big, big down for the Yellow Jackets.
4th and 5, Eric Young, the quarterback. Looking under pressure, gonna go down at the 39-yard line. Mike Jarrett put the finishing touches on Eric Young, who just found the footing impossible at that portion of the field, and the Mont Union defense once again holds Baldwin Wallace.
Well, give Jarrett credit, although it was really the feet slipping out from under Young that caused it. He tried to cut and just couldn't get it, but it didn't look like he was going to get much on the run anyway. And the Purple Raiders hold again and now have the opportunity to run a little bit more time off the clock, although now an official timeout called. They haven't moved the sticks quite yet. As if this weather isn't bad enough, it's getting darker and darker here by the minute. We're going to get pummeled again by some rain, I think.
If Mount Union wins this ball game, it'll move the Purple Raiders into undisputed first place in the OAC with a 7-0 mark. Scott Woolf gives the ball to Tarantino across the 40 to the 43-yard line.
There you see Tom Madera getting the defense set. Purple Raiders know they cannot let up against this Baldwin Wallace squad, and Madera has done a great job with that Purple Raider defense. They've prepared well for the Yellow Jackets here this week.
And to say it would be one of the biggest wins in the school's history, probably be a little bit of an understatement. Might be the biggest win in the history of Mount Union.
That would be safe to say.
Second down, 7 yards to go. Tarantino to the 43 and no more. Right outside linebacker Jeff Welsh, who's played a fine ball game for Baldwin Wallace, making the stop.
There we see Tarantino. He's going to become the workhorse, you get the feeling, but boy, did he get hammered there. Tarantino does hang on to the football, and that's what the Purple Raiders are interested in.
Third down, a long 6 yards to go for Mount Union. Billy Eyer in motion. Draw play. Tarantino has the first down at the 50-yard line. Whereas it worked for Baldwin Wallace about 5 minutes ago with Conyers carrying the ball. Scott Woolf comes back and says, here, in your face, we can do it too. A pickup of 8 on the play and another first down for the Purple Raiders.
Yeah, I'll give the line credit here as the hole opens for Tarantino and he goes right through it and then powers his way to the midfield for the necessary yardage for the first down, and that's a big first down because as long as they maintain possession, they're running time off that clock, which is becoming an enemy now of the Yellow Jackets.
10-10 remaining fourth quarter. Wolf gives the ball to Peshek, I believe. Jeff Peshek, the ball carrier for 1 yard down to the 49-yard line.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of clock watching going on right now on the Purple Raiders side of the field. That clock can't move fast enough. 11-point lead, but Mount Union in possession. And you got to give that Purple Raider defense a lot of credit up to now. They have really done a fine job with Baldwin Wallace. The unfortunate thing is this game is not being played in very good weather conditions, and it would have been nice to have seen these two teams do battle on a dry field.
Tarantino inside the 45 down to the 44-yard line. A 5-yard pickup for the senior fullback. That will set up third down and about 4 yards to go for Mount Union. Purple Raiders in that category, by the way. This will be attempt number 11 in third down conversions. 3 out of the previous 10 for the Raiders. 9 minutes remaining. Fourth quarter. Purple Raiders of Mont Union leading Baldwin Wallace 14-3. Scott Woolf going to ramble 45, slides down at the 40. Saw where he had to go to pick up the first down, went 1 more yard and picked up first down number 11 for Mount Union. And here comes the rain.
As we mentioned, that's all we need is more rain. 5 inches this week, probably another ½ inch before this game even started. Then we got a little bit of a break, but here it comes again.
Joe Knoll will split to the right side. Billy Eyer in motion. Option play, Woolf. They'll just run out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. Baldwin Wallace that time doing an effective job of stringing the option play out to the short side of the field. It'll set up second down, 10 yards to go for Mount Union.
Well, you know, this would be a good time for Oregon to be playing. Aren't they the Ducks? This would be their kind of weather.
Knoll again will move to the right side. Second down, 10 yards to go. 8 minutes, 10 seconds remaining, fourth quarter. Eyer in motion. Ball carrier is Jeff Pescick, and he is down right at the line of scrimmage in the grasp of the Un-American right inside linebacker for Baldwin Wallace, Kurt Bodeker. Third down, a long 10 yards to go for Mount Union.
The field, as you can see, is a mess. It has deteriorated as this game has gone on, but that is no fault of anybody other than the weather, because it's been a great field for the Purple Raiders throughout the season. It's been well kept, but it just couldn't hold up under all this moisture.
Straight dive play, flag on the play also. Tarantino picked up maybe 1 yard on the play, and that's where you see a lot of offensive holding called. Let's see, that's exactly what it is against Mount Union.
They may decline this one.
He only picked up a yard. That'll set up fourth and 10, or third and about 19.
Holding against the offense is declined. Fourth down.
Tarantino with 60 yards in 18 carries, which for him is not a great game when you compare it to what he did against Wittenberg. But boy, I'll tell you, he's been a real asset for the Purple Raiders here in this one, as he's been the man they've gone to in the tough situations.
Randy Powell to do the booting from about the 50-yard line. Dave Miller back in single safety for Baldwin Wallace. Here come the Yellow Jackets, but Powell gets it away. Miller will field it and is on 15, dances to the outside and almost breaks it. Gets up to the 18-yard line. And credit Jeff Erskine with bringing him down, or else Dave Miller had room to ramble on the near sideline. So Baldwin Wallace with their backs to the wall.
Well, this is their series. It's going to have to be anyway. With 7:15 remaining and down by 11 points, the Purple Raider defense is going to be called upon again to hold, and if they do, they're going to be in the driver's seat, no question about it. They're in the driver's seat now, but this one might be history if they can hold the Yellow Jackets on this drive.
Oh, Young just slips and goes down. That field is a quagmire right now, folks. He loses about 5 on the play. That will set up second down, 15 yards to go.
You know, the other thing we should mention, Baldwin Wallace plays on artificial turf, and I believe their last, there you see an example of how bad it is. I believe their last 4 out of 5 games were played on turf, and that's optimal running conditions. And now they're faced with a situation where the field is just a mess, and they're having trouble with it.
Second down, 15 yards to go from their own 13-yard line. Draw play to Conyers, breaks 2 tackles, gets to the outside, but not going to get too much more as he returns it out to the original line of scrimmage, the 18-yard line. Number 77, defensive tackle John Heather, making the stop for Mount Union. Third down, 10 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets with 6:10 remaining fourth quarter.
Probably no consolation to the Yellow Jackets now, but Lauren Conyers has done a great job, and he has seen limited playing time up until now, and they've got somebody for the future.
Only a sophomore. Young to throw, has a man open, 25, has the first, no, close to the first down at the 27-yard line. Jim Bohr, the receiver, brought down by free safety Vic Harris, and now decision time for Coach Packard.
Well, Young has trouble getting back, but finally does, sets himself, and then Moore makes a fine reception, but just couldn't extend himself for the first down before the knee dropped.
They're going to have to go for it with 5.5 minutes. No, they're going to send in the punting unit. 5.5 minutes remaining in the ball game. 4th down and a long 1 yard to go.
That's a tough decision there for
Sure
Bob
is.
Packard, unless he's got something else in mind. This is prime time for a fake, I suppose.
Stanfield to do the booting from his own 10-yard line, or at least it appears he's going to be. And he gets a low snapback. Almost has it blocked. In fact, it might have been partially blocked. No! We're going to have a flag on the play. The kick will roll into Mount Union territory down to the 47-yard line, but I believe we're going to call this whole thing back.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable that the Purple Raiders would make that mistake on the punt.
Looked like it might have been partially blocked. I don't know if it was or not, but nevertheless, the flag against roughing the kicker. We're going to look at it again, Harry.
You're right. If it's partially blocked, there should be no flag. And it's almost impossible to stop on this field, so... Well, ladies and gentlemen, we think we detected a partial block. And if that's the case, the flag is incorrect. It's tough to tell from the angle. We're up here, the officials are down there. We'll let them call the game, but that was pretty close to being a partial block.
Sure was. Well, the decision will stand. 15-yard markup on the 1st down for Baldwin Wallace. 4:49 remaining 4th quarter. Price in motion. Young flips the ball to Price and overthrows him for the incompletion. Price, the intended receiver, the pass incompletion will stop the clock with 4:45 remaining 4th quarter and set up a 2nd down 10 situation for the Yellow Jackets. But another breath of life here in the 4th quarter, due to an unfortunate roughing the kicker call against Mount Union.
This is the way this series has been between these two teams.
Young, blindside pressure. Pass is complete at the 50. That's Miller, 45. Miller to the outside, and will get down to the 42-yard line. That will go for 16 yards and give Baldwin Wallace another 1st down, with Vic Harris making the stop for Mount Union.
10th 1st down for BW. Here we see Young rolling. He's getting blindside pressure, as Cap mentioned, but gets it away just in time. Miller with a fine reception and makes a nice run after he catches the ball. Baldwin Wallace on the drive.
Don't forget last year, 1984, Baldwin Wallace scoring, coming from behind and scoring the winning touchdown with 1:44 remaining in the 4th quarter to eke out a 15-14 win. Draw play to Conyers, 39-yard line. Good recovery on the part of number 36 for the Purple Raider defense. That's Scott Hewitt, 220-pound junior from Pontiac Edgewood High School. A 4-yard pickup for Conyers. It could have been much more. 3 minutes, 52 seconds remaining 4th quarter. Young, pressure, on his feet and out of bounds at about the 26-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard pickup on the play and set up 3rd down. And about 3 yards to go with Jeff Mayfield and John Heather running him out of bounds at the 26-yard stripe.
Young does well to get away from the pursuit here. Purple Raiders are coming and shows some good quickness to get to the outside, but of course couldn't cut it upfield on this field.
3:36 remaining 4th quarter. 3rd down, 3 yards to go for Baldwin Wallace. Price in motion. Young flips the ball over the middle, complete for the 1st down at the 30-yard line. Good grab that time, and we're going to have to wait for probably a minute to find out who caught it.
Well, it appeared to be for the Yellow Jackets, number 47, Jim Barr. Fine play there. keeps the drive alive for the Yellow Jackets.
Vic Harris making the stop, but not before Baldwin Wallace has another first down in this contest with 3:25 remaining fourth quarter. Price in motion. Young, dump off pattern to Price, complete for a couple down to the 28-yard line. And Price shaken up on the play. He was really hammered at that point by Chris Weber and Greg Flasco.
We should point out that Price entered this game a little bit banged up. They said he had a slightly separated shoulder, and if that's the case, a hit like that would definitely tend to hurt. Just the short stuff now as Young finds Price on the replay. And it's good for a couple yards before the secondary's there to stop him.
Second down, 8 yards to go. Dre back in place of Price. Pass over the middle. Intercepted at the 19-yard line. Number 36, Scott Hewitt. Left inside linebacker making the interception, and that could about do it for Baldwin Wallace. 2:57 remaining in the ball game, and look at that jubilation on the far sideline.
Oh, big pickoff there. Baldwin Wallace appeared marching. It almost was a march of destiny, it appeared that way, as they had 4th and 5 deep in their own territory, got the roughing the kicker call, and they just kept going and going until Hewitt was there to pick it off. A big interception for the Purple Raiders.
Number 89 reporting into the offense for Mount Union at a wide receiver spot. Bob Kleinar, as Mount Union will call a timeout with 2:57 remaining in this ball game. Let's pause for this message.
Back here at Mount Union Stadium, there you see the score, 14-3, 2:57 remaining in this contest. Mount Union will have the football at its own 18-yard line, and you know, it's not over till it's over, as Yogi Berra has used it, and everybody else in the world has used it, but it is so true. But if you think ahead, next week, the Purple Raiders will travel to New Concord, Ohio, and take on the tough Muskingum Muskies, while Baldwin Wallace will go to Wittenberg. And regardless of what happens, you have to think that with Mount Union owning a share of the title, at least a share of the title with Baldwin Wallace, they would be a pick for the NCAA, as they're going to take 16 teams, 4 from each region. And even if the Purple Raiders would go to Muskingum and let down, you have to think that they would be an NCAA participant if they win this game.
Tarantino, the ball carrier, on first down, up to the 21-yard line, and Baldwin Wallace will expend a timeout to stop the clock with 2:48 remaining fourth quarter. 3-yard pickup on the play, second down, and 7 yards to go for the Mont. Big, big day in the history of Mount Union college athletics. Snapping a 38-game conference regular season winning streak by Baldwin Wallace, if this final holds up at 14-3.
Well, you know, Mount Union entered the Ohio Athletic Conference in 1914 and have not had a football championship, and yet this has not been a bad football program at all. In fact, it's been a very good one, and it's been a good one ever since Ken Wabel came here 24 years ago. It's just that they have not been able to capture a championship. Ken Wabel has been an OAC co-coach of the year and certainly deserves to be coach of the year this year, as he has guided these Purple Raiders to an outstanding season.
Second and 7, ball carrier Tarantino breaks a couple of tackles, gets up very close to the first down at the 29-yard line. Tarantino had 164 yards and 30 carries last week against Wittenberg, as Kurt Bodecker, one of the men on the stop for Baldwin Wallace, but not before Tarantino picks up another first down for Mount Union. And first down wise, number 15.
There you see the early celebration by the Purple Raider cheerleaders. Boy, they did a lot of work this week in getting things ready. They had signs all over campus and been a very supportive cheerleading squad for the Purple Raiders.
Doing an excellent job. Ball carrier Tony Tarantino one more time up to about the 33-yard line. That'll be a 4-yard gallop on the play and set up 2nd and 6. And again, Baldwin Wallace will stop the clock, this time with 2 minutes, 13 seconds remaining, fourth quarter. Tony Tarantino really turning it on here in the second half, Harry.
Well, they go to him when they need the yardage, and he now has 73 yards and 21 carries unofficially. And what a big win this is for Mount Union. It's hard to explain without you being in Alliance, Ohio, because there's Tom Madera, the defensive coordinator. He's done a great job. See the jubilation on the Mount Union bench, but you know what? They still have that one game left. They've got to go to Muskingum and play there, and that is no easy task, believe you me. And, of course, Baldwin Wallace is not dead because they will go to Wittenberg, and they've got to play the Tigers in Springfield, Ohio next week, so there's still a lot of activity left, and it's anybody's conference championship. The Purple Raiders, of course, would need to win, and Baldwin Wallace, regardless of what would happen next week, if the Purple Raiders beat Muskingum, they are the sole champions of the OAC. There's a lot of things that still could happen, but it looks like with this victory, Mount Union is in the driver's seat for the conference and a berth in the NCAA playoffs.
2nd down, 6 yards to go. Scott Woolf will ramble with the football, turn the corner, 35, 40, and go down at the 45-yard line. Wanted to stay in bounds to keep the clock moving. Our unofficial count has Baldwin Wallace with 1 timeout left.
Scott Woolf here, it's a fitting run here for the first down because he has done so much for the Purple Raiders in this game and throughout the season. Rolls to his left and cuts it upfield and wisely goes down inbounds to keep the clock running.
Down to 1 minute, 50 seconds remaining, fourth quarter. Mount Union on the verge of going 9-0 and winning their 10th consecutive ball game over a 2-year span. That's Tarantino and hammered right at the line of scrimmage. And this will be the last timeout employed by the Yellow Jackets to stop the clock with 1 minute, 35 seconds remaining, fourth and final quarter.
Baldwin Wallace has been the dominant team in the Ohio Conference along with the Wittenberg Tigers, and this year the Purple Raiders just put things together early. They came from behind on 2 occasions in early games, and since then they have been tough to stop. And this game against Baldwin Wallace, typical of their performance. You know, normally they score more offensively, but how can you do it in this kind of a weather condition?
And it's the same for both ball clubs. Weather conditions such as we've had here this afternoon certainly do not favor one ball club over the other. In fact, if you analyze it, it would probably hurt a high-powered passing offense such as Mount Union than a run-geared offense such as Baldwin Wallace has.
Well, that's true. You know, it's interesting. You noted early in the game that first touchdown was important because we expected a deterioration of the field, and you hit it right on the nose because Mount Union scored on its first possession, and ever since then, the field has just gotten worse and worse with this rain pouring down.
2nd down, 11 yards to go from their own 43-yard line. Tarantino one more time advances the ball up to about the 46-yard stripe. 4-yard pickup on the play. 3rd down, 8 yards to go for Mount Union, but now Baldwin Wallace out of timeouts. And the clock continues to wind on down here at Mount Union Stadium. 1 minute, 10 seconds remaining, fourth quarter. And you have to go back to one of the key plays, the interception in the third quarter by Greg Flasco at his own 2-yard line. Tarantino on 3rd and long, up the gut for a couple more, and that'll set up 4th down for the Purple Raiders. Punting situation with 45 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter.
Well, they will have to punt. They may choose to just take the ball and kneel, though, as the clock winds down. In fact, they'll likely take the delay of game, I would suspect. Celebration is on here in Alliance, and a lot of wet people celebrating. but the victory is no less sweet because of it. In fact, the last time Mount Union beat Baldwin Wallace, some of us weren't even born. 1949.
Down to 10 seconds remaining, fourth quarter. The countdown is on. Powell with the boots. Flag, no flag on the play as Dave Miller signals for the fair catch. No time remaining, and that will do it. Pandemonium reigning supreme in Alliance, Ohio, as the Mount Union Purple Raiders, for the first time in the school's history, have a shot at the Ohio Athletic Conference crown. There you see the final. Mount Union 14, Baldwin Wallace 3.
Well, there you see the celebration. They're thinking about ripping down the goalposts. The final score 14-3, and you know that does clinch a co-championship at least for the Mount Union Purple Raiders. A lot still depends on that 10th game of the season, but this is a sweet, sweet victory. I can assure you of that for Mount Union over Baldwin Wallace. And the Yellow Jackets just could not get the offense going against that tough Purple Raider defense. And as we mentioned, the conditions not optimal, but bad for both teams.
Well, that's, as you mentioned, Harry, that tough defense by Mount Union. You know, Scott Woolf getting, and deservedly so, a lot of the publicity this year, but the supporting cast around Scott Woolf, as the goalposts do come down, the supporting cast around Scott Woolf have been very impressive.
That's true. It's not just Scott Woolf. This has been a team effort. Ken Wabel has said that all along. And boy, I'll tell you, I don't know that I can ever recall that the goalposts have gone down. That's going to probably come out of Larry Karras's athletic director's budget. And we'll be back after this.
Introducing NutriChopper, the compact handheld speed slicer that cuts up to 10 times quicker than a knife. You can have one slice or 10 perfect slices at once. NutriChopper comes with the razor-sharp interchangeable stainless steel blades to make all of the cuts you want, and all incredibly quick. Mince a mound of onions and never have time for tears. And NutriChopper comes with a perfect portion container so you can slice, seal, and store it all in one. You get the complete NutriChopper set with blades and container with lids, all for just $19.99 with free shipping. Order now.
Back at Mount Union Stadium, there you see the final score, 14-3. The Purple Raiders have beaten the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. The celebration continues on Mount Union Stadium. This may be the last game of the season for the Purple Raiders on this field, but then again, they may be chosen to be a host site in the NCAAs if things continue the way they are. Purple Raiders, I know Larry Karras has put in a bid for Mount Union to host, assuming things continue on their winning course. And if that's the case, then they could be back here in a couple of weeks. But certainly a fine showing for the hometown folks. And this was also a visitation day on campus, and they had something like 200 high school students and their parents on campus, and couldn't have picked a better weekend for that, certainly, as the Purple Raiders win the ball game 14-3 and win a share of the OAC crown. They are assured of that, and they could win it outright with a victory at Muskingum next week. So, Cap, your final reaction. I know this was a great one for the Purple Raiders and the City of Alliance.
Well, I've been hearing about Mount Union from your mouth, Harry, for a number of years. Last two times, last week, Joe Tate and I coming down here, and this week, it's certainly a very impressive program. I would like to pass on my thanks to the SIDs for the respective schools. Alan Aldinger from right here at Mount Union, Kevin Ruppel from Baldwin Wallace for their help, and especially Matt Smith, who did a phenomenal job spotting for us this afternoon.
Well, that wraps it up from Mount Union Stadium. Final score once again, Mount Union 14, Baldwin Wallace 3. And that'll about do it for OAC football on Channel 17. Glad we could be with you, and that is the final score. So long, everybody.